Hustle. Get the business, build the business, then you get the cash. Then you flip it, we unscripted, don't forget to laugh. Hustle. Don't forget to laugh. Grind hard, align stars, and as the time pass, hustle. In humor by task, we get the last laugh. Hustle. And humor, now tap in.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Hustle and Humor Podcast, where we grind hard but laugh harder. Today's episode, it's all kind of stuff going on. We got a lot going on today, so y'all got to make sure y'all stay tapped in. Before we get going, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you can make sure you stay up to date on all the latest Hustle and Humor, everything that's happening. It's so much going on that we just got to jump in. Before I jump in the building with me today, I got the number one, X Films, DC in the building behind the camera. DC, say what up, bro.
Yo, what's the word, man?
And I got my lovely co-host in the building, Miss Lola Bunny.
What's up, y'all? Yeah, I'm back again with my apple juice. So bear with me.
The 2026 Apple Juice Award winner of season 1. Now everybody,
y'all see it?
Everybody want to bite her style now. Come with apple juice. I see what's going on. It's the Apple Juice Awards.
Yes, Apple
okay,
Juice Awards.
So that's a whole other your dig. So we going. All right, we got some guests in the house with us today, coming all the way out the south suburbs. So if y'all not from the city, y'all probably don't know what that means, but we got some guests who came a long way to get out here because it's a long trip to get from here to the south suburbs. Guests, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Ladies first.
Hi everyone, I am Sammika from the west side of Chicago.
West side.
And I'm Coach T.H. Scott, and I'm from the south side of Chicago.
Okay. So should we kick this off the same way we did last time?
We're not doing that. We're not going to do that right now.
It's 4-1 up in here. I'm scared of you, mother.
He's there 10 toes.
Ready to go.
All right.
So you're down in the sky.
All right, y'all. So this episode, before we even jump into the episode, guests, can y'all please tell the people what y'all do? Tell us who you are, what you do. Tell us, and drop your socials in the beginning so folks can follow you out the gate.
So I am Dr. Sammika Cosey. I am a board-certified behavior analyst. I work primarily with children with autism. I also am the founder of the Cozy Project. We're a nonprofit organization. We provide services to families that have children with autism, have faced trauma, and have other mental health challenges. We do monthly meal programs for them. We do social groups. All of our services are free. We connect them with therapists within their area. I am also an author of Imani's Natural Hair Journey.
Clap that up.
So this is about a little girl embracing her natural hair, and also the Growth Mindset Journal, something that helped me to transform my mind instead of that fixed mindset to a growth mindset. On Instagram, you can follow me at Dr. Sammika Cosey. Also on Amazon, you can find my books on there also. And the same for Facebook.
You said doctor, so let me make sure.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Cheyenne done ran this up, so we got to make sure. When you say doctor, you mean like official doctor.
Yes. So
not Dr. Dre, Dr. Pepper.
No, not any of those. I actually went to school, got my PhD and everything.
I like it.
No school to get burned down or nothing?
Right.
No.
We can't, your dissertation ain't disappear.
Even if your school is burnt down, there's ways that you can still go in and get your degree.
We can still It's people that actually went to school with you that know you.
Yeah.
Okay, see what I'm saying? Thank you, Cheyenne. You done gave us content. Shout out to Cheyenne Bryant.
Yep. So I'm Coach T.H. Scott. I am the owner and operator of Serenity Pathways Meditation. We focus mainly on the guys. We focus on motivational speaking, meditation, and mentoring. We feel like guys, unfortunately, don't always get the help they needed. So I started this organization because I felt there was a great need in the Black male space for mentoring. I also created this men's health journal, which I'll show you guys here. It's a daily men's health journal. Basically a way for guys to keep track of how they're feeling, because sometimes, guys won't always talk about how they're feeling, but sometimes they can write it down. So there's a feeling journal that they do have. I also do have my business card as well as my brochure.
No, leave that on the table. That's free promo.
Yeah,
Put that right there so they can see it.
Yes, I do have that one. I also did create a little box. This is like a box I do sell. It's like basically like a healthcare kit for guys, and it has like a stress ball in here. It has like some words of affirmation. It has a book in there. It has other items in there that guys can use. And again, like I said, they can follow me on Serenity Pathways on my social media. I've been doing this. I just started this maybe like 2 years ago, and it's kind of been growing, and it's something that I think is very popular and growing.
That's what's up. I'm digging that because I journal. I journal every day, but I got a Chat GPT journal.
Okay.
Right. So I was trying to share this. Folks is like, AI is gonna become Terminator and take over the world. Maybe I don't know. I don't know that part, but this is what I do know. And this is this is something I'm telling my clients right now. By me journaling in chat for like maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years, by me having a chat journal, my chat knows everything I do. Yeah. So when I go to do any project in chat, it gives me the layout so deep. It's personalized down to the T. Yeah. So certain stuff I don't got to ask. It just feeds it to me in my language, and it's personalized. So you know what I'm saying? But I'm with journaling. I journal every day.
You know what? And I tell people all the time, ChatGPT is the best free AI tool you can use right now before they make you pay for it. Yeah. Because there is a paid version you can't have. I use the paid version. It's one of the best versions you can use for free, to help you out with things. Because it always feels like nowadays we have technology at our fingertips. What's stopping you from not learning about how things work?
Absolutely.
Things like ChatGPT or even Google. You can Google whatever you want to. That's why the sky is blue. Whatever you want to ask you, go from there and learn.
Yeah, ain't no excuse not to learn. So I'm kind of excited. Y'all kind of, okay, before we jump, I'm sorry, Miss Lola Bunny, can you please show off these beautiful cups that you have on display?
Okay, I got some cups on display. This is from Bloom's Customs. You can get them, you can order them, I have all the information and show y'all the card later. But this is my personal one.
That's hard.
This one is really cute, and my best friend made it. But she is doing these cups. They is very affordable. When you want something real flashy, the price might be the up price, but the regular ones are $30, and these are like the regular ones that you get. So,
and can she customize it?
Yeah, she customizes any one. Like you can send pictures or whatever you want on the cups, and she'll customize it for you and dazzle it up as you can see.
That's really nice. Yeah.
But I'll leave her information at the bottom of the video. Yeah.
We just out here promoting black business. Look at us, just out here.
Got to.
Sharing love, sharing wealth. Now, I wish you would have been here since I know you work with children with autism. In the first season, we did an episode with 3 black therapists on mental health, and it was lit. Yeah, we talked about regulation. We talked about all kind of stuff. I talked about my childhood, having a SWAT kick in my babysitter's door when I was like 8. Take her boyfriend out in handcuffs, pulling bricks of cocaine out the wall, pulling money out, me and my little brother. And it was dope. I was like, yo, it kind of explained when like...
He's talking about the episode.
Oh.
This is real life. This is real life. The episode was dope. Yeah. What I'm saying is, though, the way it affected me was like, you know what I'm saying? So like when I grew up, so now it's definitely traumatic. That's what I asked the therapist. I'm like, yo, how does this affect me, moving forward, whatever? But then it made sense why like I like The Wire and Power and all stuff. Like, no, this is, I was living this, Yeah,
you actually did.
So shout out to my babysitter's former boyfriend. I think he passed now, R.I.P. Dex. And also my big cousin, because they was moving at work, moving at work. They was moving it. They not me. Let me just put this up for the record.
People were doing what they needed to do. That's what they do.
But let me ask this right quick, because now that we got this kind of monkey wrench in the show, how y'all meet? What's that? Tell me the story. What's the story of that?
We actually.
Okay, start over. Wait, start. Okay, go ahead. Can you feel the love? All right, no, my bad. Go ahead.
We actually met at NIU, so we went to college together. We both worked in the dining hall in Neptune.
Shout out Neptune. Let me get my dining dollars and husky bucks in.
Hey, take advantage, man. Them dining dollars help you through.
Them husky bucks be coming through.
Hey, I still got the little CD, but I get that one card off for you. I still got it. I got it in the car right
now. Okay, all right. So what happened? Y'all was both at NIU, and then what?
We didn't actually start dating until years later after college. Yeah. We reached out via Facebook.
Okay, all right. He ran that, so he laid that game down flat.
You gotta get him on DM.
Yeah, hey man, so the DM game worked.
Yeah.
DM game work.
Sliding in DMs.
Hey, it
Okay.
surprised even me. I wasn't expecting it to work. I was just thinking it was.
Hey man, shoot, man. That's what they do, man. 100% of the shots you don't shoot, you don't make. You gotta shoot the shot.
That's true.
All right, I'm with that. All right, so y'all met, boom, y'all got together, and now how is it with both of y'all having like businesses together? Like, how does that work? Like,
It actually works. So I started my businesses before him.
okay,
And so just taking him along with me. And then when I wrote my book and then encouraged him to also like, hey, let's go ahead and push. You got this journal that you want to do. And so it works perfectly because we're both able to do things like this together. We travel together. We go and do, we had a panel discussion yesterday.
That's what's up.
He ended up jumping on there just briefly talking about who he is and what he does. And so it works perfectly for the both of us, mainly because we're able to do so much together now.
that's what's up. That's what's up.
Especially with like, we're busy in our own career.
I was just gonna ask that how y'all schedule
and now
works.
that helps us around the house to be like, okay, let's both plan and do this. Now we want to travel and possibly travel to other states to talk to the youth. And
Gotcha,
that
gotcha.
helps out a lot.
That's what's up. That's cute.
Yeah,
I like
she was
that.
really. That's one thing I tell my wife. My wife is all about movement, constantly working on something, doing something.
I love that.
I'm one of the more that kind of sometimes laid back when like I want to rest because like when you get done working for 8 hours or something like that, you kind of just don't want to do as much. But you're part of the pusher. Like, come on, you gotta push yourself to do this. This is where you want to go. This is what you want to do. So you gotta be focused in and go ahead and do this. And you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't put yourself out there. People don't know who you are. You can't have your brand. How you call yourself a brand and nobody heard of your brand.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts
I
of
love
life.
that.
I'm gonna tell you right now for next. So it might be filled this year, but now that I know, I wish I'd known sooner. I would have put you on. I'm speaking at a conference at University of Wisconsin.
Okay.
It's like a father's conference.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna get you in there for the next one. I'm gonna
appreciate
recommend you this year. Yeah,
appreciate
it's like
it.
give you the slide because for me, like I always just want folks to give me the slide, and like folks, there was a few people that like will put me on, but for the most part, like I had to grind everything. Like folks had it,
Yeah.
And didn't want to get
and then like they're like, man, and this thing is, it's enough money for everybody to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's enough money for everybody to eat. Like yo, somebody doing something positive because it's something me and DC talk about is. There's like we have a school here, right? And there's certain children that I could reach that he can't reach. There's certain children that he could reach that I can't reach. You know what I'm saying? Like there's space for everybody. So it's like, and if us two can't reach, we got to bring somebody else in that can actually reach whoever that person is that needs to be reached. And so, I think as a people, like black folks, we got to do a better job of like hooking each other up with something serious, like something real. You know what I'm saying? Like take care of your people because it just doesn't. It's not popular in our culture. We want to eat ourselves, and then once we start eating, we hoard, and it's like, but you could bring other people in that's gonna bring more value to you. That's the thing. You bring other people in, it expands your network. That now it brings more value to you. So I'll bring you in on that. Also, before we jump in the episode, gotta invite y'all. I gotta invite y'all, even though it's early. We just had our season 1 alumni dinner.
Okay.
It was off the chain. All right, so I'm letting y'all know ahead of time. I don't have a date set yet because the first season we did like 30 episodes. So we're probably gonna do like another 40 or so episodes. But 40 episodes from now, this is only episode like 3 of season 2. But when we get to like the 40th episode, we're gonna do another alumni dinner. So y'all are cordially invited.
Thank you.
And the last one, I brought my man from Houston down, tech CEO, multimillionaire, highly successful. All the girls loved it. Hey, he had his palm out like this. They was eating. That's all I want to say. Shout out to Antonio. If you don't believe, hey, matter of fact, I think we got to upload it on YouTube and go watch as he. Yeah, I'm worth $10 million here, $15 million here. Oh, you see girls. Hey, like in the cartoons, you see the eye, the heart come out the eyes. I was like, oh, these girls going.
One thing I will say, going back to what you're saying too about the networking thing, the one thing I love that we did yesterday in Gary, Indiana, was that Gary is one of those places where if you talk to the residents of Gary, they're all about open. These people will reach out to you. And then like I said, because primarily, the black areas, and unfortunately the way they have it set up, it's not really designed for, a lot of people to break out and get creative in here because it's like you have a lot of abandoned buildings and stuff like that. But you have people who really want to do great things there, and people in the community who want to help you do great things there, or bring you in to help you do that. So again, we want to give a shout out to people in Gary because again, sometimes we think that some low income areas are not always trying to do things, but they are trying to do things.
Right.
You got to network with the right people who are trying to do those things.
I will say this right quick before we jump in the episode. Even I guess technically we in the episode now. You know what I'm saying? But I will say the part about being an entrepreneur that's super dope to me is that where everybody else sees problems, entrepreneurs see opportunity.
Yeah.
And like if you put me anywhere, it don't matter. It's that old Jay-Z thing. Put me anywhere on God's green earth, I'm gonna double my worth. Like because everything's just an opportunity.
Exactly.
Like if it's a problem. Entrepreneur. We teach our children in this school that an entrepreneur is a person who solves problems for profit. So the bigger the problem, the bigger the profit. You solve a big enough problem, you get a big enough profit, right? And so it's like even in Gary or like some of the cities where you got like Gary, the Detroits, the Phillies, those type of cities, we have big problems. Whoever come to them cities with a big solution, that's why like Detroit right now is getting bought up because the real estate developers are realizing there's a big solution. It's called sell real estate. Once the hood brought all the property value down, like we know happens, right?
Exactly. They go
move everybody out.
Urban renewal.
Urban renewal, gentrification at its finest happening. So so let me jump into this now because I got y'all here. Y'all entrepreneurs. I gotta hear from y'all and the entrepreneur. Tell me about y'all journey. Like tell me how y'all journey been, highs, lows, things you've experienced. Tell me about the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to know because as an entrepreneur, and as a business coach, I'm super curious. I like to know everything. So I'm talking to y'all like clients. Like, tell me about your business.
So for me, I started off as writing a book. I went to try to see if I can have someone else to assist with like publishing the book. But the cost was like $10,000. Yeah, $5,000 to $10,000, and financially I wasn't able to do it. And so I went online and decided to become self-published. I had a goal to have the book out by December 26th was my goal to publish it. It didn't work. Took me about maybe 3 months, I believe, when I finally was able to publish it. There were like things with the font that was off, images were off, and so I had to fix all of that. And then even when I published it and I got copies back to sign, pages were missing, so they had to go back in and fix everything up again, and it was challenging.
Pause for just a second, because part of what our school does, I own a publishing company, that's why I'm pausing you. All of our children have to publish books, so this is for the adults out there. We have 4-year-olds that are published authors. And I'm saying this to say, based off of all of your struggles, last week, I just did a workshop where normally I charge $2,000 to teach self-publishing. I charged only $200. Actually, it was like $197. I did a $197 special to teach self-publishing. And let me ask you this. If somebody could have taught you for $197.
I would have took it.
You would have took it. That's what I'm getting at.
I am very big on coaching and taking those opportunities. I am very big on telling other people to go out and to do the same because sometimes I didn't know anyone else who had published a book at that time. And so if someone else was able to help me and I just paid $200, I paid $500 or $200 per session for coaching that has helped me along the way. Even starting my nonprofit, in the beginning, I was lost. I started the Cozy Project just as an organization for social change. During COVID, we transitioned to a nonprofit, building up board members, getting people to help. That was hard, challenging. I wanted to quit 1,000 times, and then I'm like, hey, I need a coach. So I found another Black woman. She had a very successful nonprofit organization. Me paying her $200 for 45 minutes for a year, I ended up, based on the information she was able to give me, getting grants now. There was a lot of things that I was able to do, not just for the Cozy Project, but I also applied everything she taught me to my life.
The value of
coaching. I will tell anyone whether you're trying to get because I go out and do public speaking, so I hired a speaking coach. I hired just about everything that I wanted to do. I went and found someone who was already successful at doing it.
Absolutely.
And that has helped me. So instead of me just struggling, trying to figure things out, I have people who've already done it.
Absolutely.
And I wish, like, with writing that book, I had someone who had already done it, so I wouldn't have been as lost.
I feel you. Okay, I'm digging that. All right, it's on you. But before you start, you sent me 2 bios.
Okay.
All right, you sent me 2 bios.
Yes, I did.
So you gotta let me know which bio is talking. And then you gotta let me know who's showing up right now. But let the people know both things that you do. And then, because one of them touched my heart more than the other. You know what I'm saying? That's only because I'm a nerd like that.
So the first one is Coach T.H. Scott. That's the bio for Serenity Pathways Meditation. And then the second one is my entertainment one, which is Incredible Connonedrum. It's one that I created a while back. I want to say it's like at least about 4 or 5 years old. You know, it's one of those things where, again, like you, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, so we grew up a lot around cartoons, TV shows, movies, stuff like that we thoroughly enjoyed and we like talking about. So I created it because I really thought that there would be a really cool need for that. You know, I started creating videos on YouTube, and then I started doing them on TikTok. Originally, I was doing like actual just trailers originally on YouTube, but because YouTube changed up the way they did their policy, you get strikes and you get warnings and stuff like that. So I kind of stopped. So I kind of deterred me for a while. So I went over to TikTok and I started doing more videos about Funkos and comic books and collectibles and stuff like that, because I was feeling like, at least in that space I can do that and not really have an issue with getting strikes. And I didn't want my channel to get deleted, just the fact that I put something out there that I did not know was going to be that way. Because initially, when YouTube first came out, the world was your oyster.
You could do anything.
Put anything on there, and as long as it wasn't, doing something crazy. I'm not sure if you used the word on the live, but you weren't doing anything like that.
Right.
You could put it out there. But for me, that was like the big thing is that I wanted to put something out there that I enjoy. Again, it's like my mental health stuff too, because it takes me out of the space of everything that's going on in the world, because we already know what's going on with people like Nolan Wells and certain other people, Carmelo Anthony and stuff like that. It takes you out of having to deal with all that trauma that we see constantly get bombarded on us all in one sitting.
Absolutely.
So, so that's why I came up with like 2 different profiles that way.
I like it.
I can do both. But that's why I said I'll do the Coach T.H. first, and then I'll switch out. Then we can do the other one, because that stuff we can talk about for hours on hours.
I like it because one is like focused on returning to the joy of being a child, and the other one is focused on like the peace that adults need. So it's 2 different methods of coaching, but both are necessary for life. You know what I'm saying? You clearly see from my background, my equal nerdism, right?
I didn't send you. I didn't send you the link to TikTok already. I didn't send that to you. I didn't want you to blow your load online already. It's a whole thing. She's seen it. Everybody's seen it.
This entire room is
filled with Funko Pops, collectibles,
figures. So what happened is my students told me last year, they was like, your room is so boring, right? Because you came in my classroom, it's like straight discipline. We straight to the electives or whatever. And I'm like, all right, let me make it a little bit fun. And I thought to myself, how would I want a classroom to look for me? So this had nothing to do with my students. Y'all just got to sit in the classroom that makes me feel like I'm back in my childhood, right? So it's like, that's what I did in here. And when I read your bio, though, I was like, okay. I was like, finally, somebody else I could talk to about Thanos that understands.
Hey, every once in a while, we all think Thanos might have been right with the snap.
Man, I don't know.
It was a snap.
Listen, man. I keep telling people like December 18th is going down. They just be looking at me. I'm like, we're not in the same world. We're not in the same world. You don't know what that date means.
That date means everything to every Marvel comic book person who enjoys comic book.
Listen,
this day is going to be so jam packed with people in the theaters.
The moment tickets go on sale, I might have to get a whole row.
I think it said starts in August.
Because Endgame is coming out first.
Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna redo Endgame and add the scenes in there and all that. Hey, look at DC. He like, hey, man. You know what?
I didn't even listen.
Folks gotta understand. Let me tell you the blessing in becoming older and becoming a nerd, right? Because we don't value education in our community. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Like we value like Snoop Dogg gets put on, right?
Yeah.
But all right, it's not. It's Snoop. Shout out to Uncle Snoop, but we don't value like for me, education didn't become cool till I got older, and I was like, oh snap! Like some of this stuff is actually fun. Like I play with quantum physics. This is actually fun. This is something fun to talk about, or just anything. Because we, and you black in the hood, then you gotta be hard. Like that's it. Like that's the only. You can either be doughboy or you could be Kane from Minister Society. Those are your options. Exactly. What you want to do, or you can rap. You know what I'm saying? Like those are your options. It's like, wait a second. Why I gotta do all that? I don't want to game bang. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to live life.
And you know what really put us on? And I'm gonna put my age myself with this one because you guys both. Oh, everybody will know this. If you grew up in the '80s, the things that girls either had the Babysitters Club. Or the boys had the Goosebumps books.
They had a TV show from Goosebumps that came out later down the line. R.L. Stein.
Erie, Indiana. You had Are You Afraid of Dark? You had shows.
Are You Afraid of the Dark was the lit
that came out.
We just lost our whole young audience. Anybody 18 and under is like, what is going on right now? Are You Afraid of the Dark?
And I'm trying to keep it separate, the coach versus the other stuff, because it's like, I want to leave the coach stuff, but now you're pulling me into the incredible Connonedrum stuff, and I'm like...
I asked that question because I'm going to ask another question later, but I mean, I think the two can coexist.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, the two can coexist. Like, you can... Man, all right, so I did a speaking engagement recently. Me and DC was out in... where were we at? In Madison. For like the county out there, whatever. The local county. Dane County. And my speech, it was all a bunch of juvenile children that was like in the system and everything. So my flip was, I gave them some like real drills and stuff like that, but my flip was about being in the system, and it was about how Nintendo was a system.
Yeah.
It's like how Mario taught me everything I need to know in life about like having breakthroughs, and some breakthroughs you end up doing it big, and and I use Mario as like a metaphor.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I thought it was dope. I don't know. They bringing me back and speaking a bunch of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you can tap into, I think a lot of us like kind of like suffer from what Michael Jackson suffered from, where our childhood, you start looking back, like we lost parts of our childhoods. We had to be big brother, big sister to help raise children, or our parents might have been sick, or they might have been strung out, or they might have been in the streets or whatever. So a lot of us lost parts of our childhood. So like as adults, it's like
you get to relive that dream,
getting back to that childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Also, you got adult money too. So
adult money makes a difference. Adult money, you know. So. Yeah. So all right. A little bit of y'all journey. All right. So what's y'all goals? Like, what's y'all talk money to me? Talk money. What's y'all goals? Like, what's the business? What's the goal that scares you?
So I think my biggest goal that scares me is that I want to actually open up some businesses, some brick and mortars for boys and for men, and with my wife. But we have like one area will be like for meditation. And it'll be for an area for guys to do counseling, and there'll be areas for guys to actually speak to each other, and counseling, and then meditation. And that way guys can actually work on figuring out what's going on with them and doing better. Because there's a lot of buildings in our areas that could be used and to utilize to actually be community centers.
Absolutely.
And we need to have these community centers that are active and able to help people and show people that there's other things they can do besides, just doing bad things. Because as you all know, a lot of times when kids don't have anything positive to do, they do something negative. They're going to find something negative to do. So again, I feel like, every child can learn how to do something better or learn what they enjoy doing, do something great. Like you see a lot of the kids, for instance, who do the graffiti. Just because they're doing graffiti doesn't mean they can't draw. So that means that they have a talent for drawing. They have a talent for learning how to do stuff. And the kids that are really good with putting things together, they're engineers. You can teach them how to become engineers and how to do greater things. So it's like if we have these community centers and we have these places these kids can go to, like I would love to say YMCAs are great, but I don't really see them as much.
YMCA is not culturally focused.
On our route.
By the way, this is Wakanda in here, so everything is black centric. This is Wakanda in here, by the way.
And that's the big thing too, is that we want to make sure we have these places in our communities that they can go to where they can feel that they're seen, they can talk to people, and the healing can start. Because I feel like honestly, if everybody got therapy like they should, and it should be free, there'd be a lot less things happening everywhere. People would actually be getting help that they need. People would be getting put on medication that they need to put on, or people be getting, ways where they can figure out how to exhale their anger, because a lot of times people are holding in a lot of anger. And again, that's why I do the meditation, because again, if you don't know how to exhale the anger, excel in some way, and it may not be the way you want to.
Yeah, that remind me of the mental health episode we did. One of the things they talked about sometimes, a lot of times with us is we normalize like trauma.
Yes,
we normalize that. We so used to living with it, we think that like
It's normal for
like being dysregulated is a normal thing, and it's like that's not normal. It's just that we've had so much trauma, you know.
I think a lot of times the big thing too is that we've learned to make jokes about it. Like we aren't really taught to. Yeah, we're not really taught to deal with it. We're taught to make jokes about it. You know, we're taught to pray about it, which is cool. But again, sometimes you need to talk to people to get that type of thing out.
If you tell me to pray about
I just had that conversation.
Yeah.
pray about it, man.
I mean, but that's a go-to though. That's an honest go-to.
It shouldn't be
That's
done in isolation.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the only thing that you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is because when you're praying, who else hear your prayers? You. You know what I'm saying? So now you pray about it, you put it out there. Now it's up to you to do what it is that you prayed for. That's how.
And that's a lot of people's issues too, because we pray about things but we don't put the work into
Yeah,
it.
that's
So a lot of people just think that, oh, I want this business, I'm going to go and just sit down and pray about it and then not make any moves.
Yeah.
And so
You
it's
gotta
not
put the
just going to
footwork
fall in
in.
your lap. No one knows who you are.
What do y'all think about, because both y'all kind of in that mental health space, what do y'all think about like in our community, like us like sweeping stuff under the rug? Because that happened. In our community, we hear family business is family business. And then we just sweep up. I think DC mentioned in the episode, like everybody knows that uncle in the family that's like touchy fingers.
Yeah.
But nobody want to oust him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we like family business is family business. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
That they wrong.
we know he bogus. You know what I'm saying? Like what's kind of like what's your take on that, or any experiences you had with that, or?
And so I also work with like other entrepreneurs, and I work with families. And so oftentimes I have conversations with people who have dealt with things like this. And then oftentimes when you know someone who has engaged in those things, still keeping quiet about it. Now you have other children who are now about to experience this same exact thing that all the other nieces had just went through, that they came to you and told you about it. Oftentimes in our communities, when our children go to like a grandma or auntie to go and talk about it, most of them are made to be liars. Even though that grandma or that auntie knows that he did it, you're making them out to be a liar now. And now they have to sit in what their feelings and for 20 more years. And that actually caused more issues with them in the future, with us not saying anything. Even with health situations, a lot of people in the Black community, we face all these health challenges, but we don't even want to talk about that with our families.
Right.
Because a lot of things that we go through, we can prevent the younger generation from going through it if we just let them know, this is what I'm going through. This is how you can prevent yourself from going through exactly what I'm facing right now. Or the mental health. With autism in general. When I first started working with children with autism, no one wanted to talk about it. I had an uncle who has autism. When I was younger, I had no idea what that was. I just knew my uncle was socially a little different than everyone else. But no one wanted to talk about it, though. And now my goal was to push more with us vocalizing, because sometimes we are afraid to say that something is different about our child. And then our child doesn't get the help or the education or the therapy and treatments that they really need, because those are things that we don't want to address.
So I got a question.
Yes.
DC, stop me so I don't go out of pocket here. So because we have a school, right? To me, everything is autism, right? So what happens, right, now I'm not a trained professional, but if a student comes to school and everything in you is saying this child is autistic, like they're just socially awkward, right? Child might be intelligent, highly intelligent, but you like, there's a few things. So we've had this happen a couple of times. And you're like, I'm pretty sure this child is suffering from some form on the spectrum, right? But when you talk, we talk to the parents about it. Parents like, I don't have my child tested. my child's normal. But you're like, yo, your child was just, you know what I'm saying? Like eating the wood paint off the walls. Like, that's not normal, you know? But just all these social cues are there that's like, there's something not quite right. Like, how do you handle that? Because, like, from our perspective as educators, it's like, well, we tell the parents, you know,
it comes up to the parent to go, because even we just had this conversation on the panel yesterday, because a lot of families are still in denial, especially when you're talking to a mother, and she, even if she knows and she sees everything that you're saying, she sees it herself, but now the blame is on her. It is, I did something wrong. And so if I go and get my child tested, it's going to show that I did something wrong, or something was wrong with me.
Hey, he's trying not to say no. He knows exactly what I'm hitting on.
So I agree with that, right? I agree that a parent may not want to say something because they think it may reflect on something that they did. But it's not the job of a parent to protect and nurture, even if you are at fault. So if I accidentally trip my child and my child falls and breaks their arm, should I not take them to the emergency room?
No, you should take them.
I should take them to the emergency room and then have to explain what happened. You know what I'm saying? Now with autism, from what I understand, is that we really don't know, you know what I'm saying, what causes it, where it comes from whose genes, or anything like that. So I don't think there has to be a shame there. I think that maybe that parent suffers from some type of identity crisis. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that parent already feels as if they're not a good parent. And if this gets let out, it's going to suffice what everyone believes in that person, that they're not a good parent. Yeah, I said that once per little bit.
I'm going to be honest with you. Growing up, I got held back a grade. I got held back in first grade. I got put in special education classes. And, you know, going through school, you know, they actually took me out of class, you know, going out to take me out of class. They call it special education classes. And, you know, they have like a one-on-one, you work with the teachers, they work with you to try to get you better at what you need to be doing. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, even my father at the time, he didn't really want me to be he really wanted to put in special education class because there's nothing wrong with him. You know, I did not understand that sometimes there are things that you're not always understanding or can understand at the time. And even though, you know, I was put in those remedial classes, they did help me. They helped me to become better. And, you know, I graduated grammar school, I graduated from high school, even though, you know, this high school I went to was not really one of the best ones. And I went to college, and I graduated from there, and I got my master's degree. So for a person who was held back a year, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a terrible person or that your parents aren't trying to help you. It just means sometimes you're not always where you need to be at.
Yeah.
Like you should be. And sometimes you got to step back and say, yeah, that's fine. I still love my child anyway. It just means that sometimes they just need a little more time than other people.
Yeah, because as an educator, I know y'all can't tell. Normally my desk is like over here. So when I come to class and I'm like just on my computer, then I turn around and it's a student like right here, and I'm like, what the? And then they're like, sir, you have a mustache, and you're like, yo, like give me 4 feet. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, and I'm like, I'm writing down on my note, like talk to parent about, but it's like every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I know I'm seeing this pattern. Brain recognizes patterns. I know I'm seeing this pattern. It's like, do you see this as a parent? Like, you gotta.
And then sometimes the parents also may, because there's a lot of parents who have autism themselves.
Yeah.
They have a child who has autism. So to them,
it's normal.
So to them, it is something that is normal that their child is doing because they did the same exact thing.
I was gonna mention the CDC, and we watched Vaxxed, but yeah, I don't want to get shut down, so they probably shut the whole channel down.
Well, you know what I do with these particular students, that even if the parents are down, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So I treat them as such. You know what I'm saying? And I try to talk to them in a way that I know that they're going to, you know, grasp. You know what I'm saying? Because my job as an educator is to make sure that they get the message. You know what I'm saying? No, I have to bend to the learning style. Like if you're trying to admit to me that your son or daughter is not autistic, and I see here are 10 signs that your child may be autistic and your kid hit 9, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to treat them as such. You know what I'm saying? Because my job is to make sure they still know what 2 + 2 is. You know what I'm saying? Or what the Constitution says, or what, you know what I'm saying, about the Great Migration. Like that, my job is to make sure that they get that information. So parents can be in denial all they want. I'm not gonna be in denial.
Yeah.
One thing I do notice too, and I'm gonna say this about myself, is that everybody doesn't have the same learning style as everybody else. And that's the big thing, is that a lot of times people assume everybody has the same learning style as somebody else. Say, for instance, for me, whenever I travel with my wife does it all the time, I don't recognize street names. I recognize landmarks. I recognize land. Yeah, I'm
gonna see a fire hydrant. It's gonna be a dog scratch.
Yeah, if I see this Citgo, if I see this Checkers, this Burger King, and again, it's not. Yeah, I go left. Not product placement or anything like that, but I go left, and I know how to get there because my mind is not trained to recognize that.
So instead of telling somebody like, no, not 79th and Halstead, we gonna be on. You gonna see the fish store.
Yeah.
Then across the street, you gonna see 2 dudes hanging out, right? They throwing up GD, but then I got you.
Exactly. So it's learning styles. Everybody has the same learning style. Some people are visual learners. Some people are.
I'm learning right now. I've been sitting here the whole time just listening to y'all because I'm really in tune with like spiritual and like meditation and like all that stuff. I'm just sitting here listening, learning. I'm trying to learn some new things.
I kind of feel kind of bad because she really hasn't been able to say anything. I'm like, I don't want her.
No, I'm cool.
Trust me, she about to go crazy. This is just my segment. Her segment next.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a tough thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough thing because there's no such thing as like a normal person. You know, and then just dealing with that and autism and like the boom of autism. You know, we ain't gonna say how, but there's a boom of autism that we see and just dealing with children. So I'm glad that you do that though, because it's good to see that in our community and see like certain needs being addressed that a lot of times don't get addressed in our community, or we just don't have professionals. First of all, let me give y'all flowers right quick. Can we clap it up for them right quick? One thing that I'm so happy about, I always point people like, go see a professional.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because grifters live in the space in between professional and like what you need.
Yeah.
And somewhere in between there is your money leaving your pocket. So it's like, if you need yes, you can go see a street mechanic. But if you go to a mechanic that's licensed and something happens, you can take your car back, you got insurance, you got warranty, it can be handled. When Junebug mess your carburetor up,
Can't do nothing.
that's just it.
You can't do nothing.
Junebug tell you, listen, man, hand me that fork over there. Like, Junebug, I don't think a fork is going to fix a carburetor. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad, because one of the things I try to push on this show too is like, man, go find a professional that deals in that area, right? Like, people, I work with clients and people sometimes ask like financial questions. Go ask a financial advisor.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I can help you make money, but I can't. What you gonna do with that money once you make it? You go professional. How you manage it? Go see a professional. How you whatever, and then y'all mentioned also like your health, and then that's another big one in our community too. Because even myself, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, when the last time I got blood? I think I had blood work drawn like 2 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So I need to get my blood work drawn.
At least once a year.
You know what I'm saying? At least once a year. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's health is huge. Health is huge. But okay, let me ask this question: Was me and you having this conversation?
I don't know what conversation you say.
Oh, I didn't even say it.
Yeah, you gotta say my
I
name.
don't know if it's on social media or what. So it was about no, I saw a video. I'm sorry. I saw a video. It was a TikTok, and it was a white woman telling black people they need to go to black doctors and they need to go to black nurses, and they need to, when they go to get healthcare, they need somebody that looks like them, because she was reading all the numbers of what happens to us in healthcare when we're not treated a certain way.
Yeah.
And that, I think that stigma plays a huge part with us. Like going to the doctor, like it's just, America has a history of experimenting on us.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, I could go to the doctor. Like it's almost like taking your car to the mechanic, and you like, I got a flat tire, and you leave out, you like, I ain't got no spark plugs. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't got a thermostat. My water heater don't work. Like I just had a flat.
Yeah.
Like what happened? Why are you under the hood for a flat tire? And it's kind of, so what's your opinion? What's your opinion on that, especially as being a doctor? Like,
and so I will say from my own experience, having like the last 2 years, a lot of health challenges that were ignored by doctors that didn't look like me. And so it took me consistently fighting and sending emails, sending written messages to them to get them to actually pay attention to what I was going through. And a few months ago, I ended up having to have a surgery because I went there months in advance and I was ignored or turned around and like nothing was really going on with me. Like I got into the point within the last 5 years to where I really know my body. So I know that something was wrong. I know that something was different. And there were multiple times, even like 10, 13 years ago, to where I was consistently in and out of the hospital, and they told me to go see a specialist who didn't look like me. I saw something on Facebook where someone said like, hey, they have this, and they listed everything that was wrong with them. And at that time, I told the doctor, this is what I think I have. And she turned around and told me, you don't have PCOS. I'm looking at you and I can tell you don't have it. She didn't run any tests on me or anything else. And I went into another nurse practitioner a week later, and she said, based on what you're telling me, I think you do have PCOS, and I'm going to run the test to prove it, and then I'm going to connect you to a doctor. She connected me to a Black doctor. That was my first time ever having a Black female doctor. One of the best doctors that I have ever had. I faced so many challenges and losses at that time, and that doctor would even call me. My aunt died, my cousin died. She called me and picked up the phone and made sure that everything was going right. She connected me with dietitians who looked like me also, because sometimes when we go see doctors who don't understand or experience what we're going through, they can't really help us. Right. Especially if they're not inside of our community.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because a lot of times, even in the education realm, when you are bringing in teachers from outside somewhere else, a lot of times with those people, it's a paycheck to them. So it's like, hey, you're at this doctor, I'm going to give you your 15 minutes, and then I got to go to the next patient.
That's heavy. I hope y'all picked up what you just put down, because that's real. You know what? In the field, on the education side, I used to work in this public school, and every morning this teacher would come in, and for the first like maybe 1 or 2 periods, maybe the first 3 periods, she would put a TV out, put something on TV, put her sunglasses on, and put her head down at her desk. And then one time she came out, she asked me like, could she get some Advil or something like that? And I was like, yo, you always tired when you come in. Like, what happened? She was like, oh, I worked the night shift. So I started having a conversation with her, right? Because it's not a lot of jobs at night shift jobs, right? I mean, you can work at a factory, but if you're a teacher, I was like, night shift. So I started talking to her, and she's like, well, you know, like I be at, you know, they bartend. I'm like, they bartend? So as I start talking to her, I'm like, are you dancing for money? I'm like, are you a dancer and a teacher? Right? And I'm getting this conversation, and her whole thing was, okay, she's dancing to whatever because the school job isn't paying enough or whatever, right? But at the same time, her class population is all Black. She's white. So she's coming out here to Rockford only because she can't go to the school she wants to go for 2 years. She got to put her 2 years in first. So she comes out here, when she gets out here, and her attitude towards the children that look like us is, like, hey, I came in one day, they was watching ESPN. She was like, there's math or something on there. And I'm like, you got the children watching ESPN? Like, even the Sports Center loops after 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just watching Sports Center loops, and like, but that was her attitude towards us, because if you don't love the population you serve, you're never going to serve them. You know what I'm saying? They're never going to serve them the way that they need to be served, and if you don't love that population. And then when I seen it, I was like, oh, this is crazy. So I'm just imagining that multiplied times the country, where you have like Black children going to class, teacher don't look like them, and not vested in them. You know what I'm saying? But it happens on the health side too. On the health side, it's like, if your doctor don't have a vested interest in you, then it's some of the stuff that we experience. Like, imagine, I don't know, if you get pulled over by police, whatever trauma you experience. And now you're trying to explain to somebody that's like, no, Billy didn't mean anything. He just, you know, he called you a nigger. He did do that, but he doesn't mean like he meant nigga. N-I-G-G-A. Never ignorant getting goals accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a justification for that stuff. So anyway, I'm in my soapbox. But all right, I'm gonna ask you a question right quick. Okay. Because my session's almost over. I'm gonna ask you this question. So you sent 2 bios.
Yes, I did.
You sent 2 bios.
Yes.
If I were to give you $10 million right now, which one of those 2 would that $10 million go towards? It can only go towards one.
Only can go towards
$10 million is either going to be the Connonedrum or it's going to be Serenity Pathways. Which one of those 2 Would you push out front?
Probably Serenity Pathways. I'd say I will push out because of the fact that that's a business that I know I can build and I can help other people. Now, the needs to say is that when I get Serenity Pathway really established, doesn't mean I can't get more money and won't be able to use it towards something else. But I know that once I put this business out there, I can put something out there that's a legacy for me, something that I can leave behind to other people and people can take advantage of and learn from. Because the more you put out there that people can learn from, the better off you are. You know, granted, I like having things. You know, I love buying stuff. But unfortunately, that's a bad passion of mine. Is buying stuff. Yeah, buying stuff. Buying stuff. Buying stuff. But I just wanted to make sure that again, that I have something that's more legacy bound, that's worthwhile to have for some people after me. Because again, I can't take none of this stuff with me as I leave. So
Drake said, "Spin it while you here."
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, pretty much so.
All right, I'm gonna run down this quick checklist with you, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Lola Money for the next session. All right, so quick checklist for y'all businesses. Y'all got email marketing set up?
Yes.
Yes. You got text messaging set up?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all got funnels set up for your pages?
I do not.
did.
Or do you need a funnel system to get new clients, or do you have some type of client acquisition system?
But this, so I'm trying to think because I know we have the.
If you got to think, the answer probably no.
Right, no.
I actually, for myself, after I had surgery, I took a pause to work on rebranding, but I still do have that system.
Okay. Do y'all have, I'm running through like your systems and operations. Do you have like a sales system set up?
For your phone? Do you mean your phone?
Like your different merchant services, like your sales pathway for your clients to connect from where they start into where they finish with buying your products.
Oh no, I'm not.
Or services.
I'm about to look into something like that. So I know, like I said, I just primarily have mine just on Amazon right now. So kind of go through the whole motion.
Oh, y'all both got books too, right?
Yes. So
okay, do y'all you self-publish, right?
Yes.
When you self-publish, did you see the difference in between selling on Amazon and selling yourself? Do you see the price difference? Because do you own your self-publishing, or did you go through somebody that published for you?
No, I own it myself.
You own it?
So I do see the difference. If I sell on Amazon, I typically probably get $3 a book.
Okay.
If I go and sell it myself, I will get probably maybe 4 times that.
4 times that. That's about right. Because mine, if I sell on Amazon, is like $1 something. If I sell it myself, it's like $14 profit. So then that leads me to the next question is, and it's not necessarily everybody doesn't, but do you have a system for, like, that's what I'm talking about, your sales system. It's like pushing out your books or whatever your product is. Do you have a system that's consistently acquiring new clients? So that way when you got books or whatever it is, your system, your products, you constantly bringing in new clients. That's what.
I don't think I do have one for that. I do not. I'm not looking to do.
Well, y'all know me, so
exactly.
But I will gift y'all at the end of this episode. I'll make sure I'll text it to y'all. Gift y'all. So what my guy that came out here, he just built this new system, and he's still building it out. It's built, but now he's like working on the interface. But it's very sweet, and it should help to save thousands of dollars because I've invested so much money in systems that it's crazy. And so, like, I have just all kind of stuff that I need to go look at my account and be like, why is this coming out still? You know what I'm saying? But on the business side, my thing is, man, I just want to see all of us succeed, make sure we got what we need, and point you in the right directions and get you where you need to be. So, yeah, man, that definitely, I'm excited to hear about all the great things coming forward in the future. And we'll chop it up more on that. But I'm going to turn it over to the quiet over there plotting.
Yeah, I got to forgive me. I've been having all night.
Love the bunny.
Sunglasses. Man.
Yeah, what my sunglasses at?
Go get those for me right quick.
Okay, well, a lot of stuff y'all was already hitting on, so it'll go good with this next part, which is called emotional depth. And you just basically tell me about the emotions behind what drives you to like go for your business, like with your autism. Like, was somebody in your family with it, or like you watched them or had to grow up with it? Like, what made you go to that route?
So I had an uncle who had autism, but I was also an early childhood educator out in Schaumburg, and I had about 24 students, and 12 of them had autism. So there were 12 students. Some of them have had like early intervention before. Some of them was still doing therapy outside of school, but I had no idea how to work with them. The education that I had, we only had maybe one class and one chapter of a book that talked about autism. And so during that experience, I saw an AAC device for the first time.
What is that?
So it's basically an iPad, and there's different systems that you can put on there, like lamp, touch chat, and so it's for students who aren't able to talk. And so they will push a button that will communicate for them.
Okay.
Wow.
I had to learn on my own how to communicate with that child, and and then during that time, with me not knowing, and then working with that child, thinking that, hey, she didn't know her letters, she didn't know how to read, she didn't know any of these things. But once I learned that system and I sat it down in front of her and I started talking to her, she was able to communicate.
Oh, wow.
And so that's what led me to leaving the education field and going more into the behavior analysis.
Okay. And you? I am into like the mental health, all that. I am actually reading this book, and it's called hold on, wait a minute. Human Nature, The Laws of Human Nature. And it just teaches you about the way other people think, how you can see yourself. You see yourself in some of the things they talk about in the book, the biased ways and all that type of stuff. But when it comes down to like mental health, they talk about a lot of things that we take in from our childhood that we don't know nothing about, like until it just start playing out in our adulthood. And a lot of people like, say push it off, or, negative ways influence it because they don't know how to deal with it. So I'm really into like the mental health.
Yeah.
So what drives you to like want to, keep pushing? Have you seen a lot of men go through the stuff that you speak of?
Yeah, and the thing about a lot of men is that men usually only have maybe 3 or 4 emotions they're able to show. Happiness, sadness, anger, and maybe frustration. Now, there's a billion other emotions guys can feel or people can feel, but those are the ones that are specifically guys are offered, or showing most of the time. And I know for me, I used to get picked on as a kid, and I used to be one of those kids that didn't really, fight back a lot of times. And you get angry at yourself because of the fact that this stuff is happening, and then you get anger issues because, like, you're angry at yourself, you're angry at the situation because you're not taking steps to actually deal with everything that's going on. So it takes its toll out on you. So you have to find ways to deal with those anger issues that you have. And again, a lot of times, most men are told to man up. Men don't cry. Men learn how to deal with whatever comes at them. But that's not a good way to deal with life and everything that's happening to them. And for me, I noticed that myself, and you can see that in other guys who may say they're fine, but you can tell they're not fine. They're not okay. And a lot of times they're looking for a place to vent their frustrations out on things. And finding a safe space for guys is can be as simple as play around a room where they can just sit there and talk, or maybe they play video games, or somewhere where they can, go do exercise, maybe go play basketball, football, whatever they enjoy, whatever type of hobby they enjoy. That way they can vent out that type of frustration and talk about what's happening, because it's not going to go away without you talking about it. It's only going to get worse. I tell people all the time, it's like if I have a soda can here right now, if a soda can falls on the floor, it's going to shake up. I can put it back on the table. It's fine on the outside, but on the inside, it's shooken up. If I do it again, it's still gonna be shooken up. I do it again, it's still shook up, even though it looks fine on the outside. So eventually, somebody's gonna eventually open that can, or that can eventually is gonna crack open, and everything's gonna come out. Everything's gonna come out. So it's just ways of dealing with anger and frustration, and dealing with everything that's happening in everyday life.
See, I understand all that. But it's hard when you try to teach your kids that, because they listen to somebody else before they like listen to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I got boys, and they deal with like stuff they won't talk to me about. And it's just like me as a single mom, I'm like looking for ways to, for them to express that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know he's not gonna express a lot of it to me, but I'd rather him be able to express it and talk about it, and let it build up and become that soda can. Because the wrong person say something to him, he pop off and it leads to situations that we got going on right now in our community. So it's like.
So I tell people all the time, especially women with boys, if you can find men in your neighborhoods, or even talk to me about what is going on with them, because a lot of times boys don't want to show their mothers that they're dealing. Like they see the mothers dealing with a lot. Like just because we don't say it doesn't mean we don't see what you're dealing with, and we see everything that's going on with you, and we're not trying to make it even harder on what you're having right now. So a lot of times I tell people the best way for a lot of single moms to deal with boys is find hobbies they like. If there's hobbies they like, talk to them about those hobbies that they like, because eventually you can work in a how you doing, what's going on with this, and you can kind of can filter in questions you have about how they're doing health wise, like what's going on with you. If I can filter this in after I talk to you about something you enjoy, you're more likely to open up to me. Because a lot of times that's how people work. A lot of times that's what people do. Whenever they want to talk to somebody, you don't talk to you about the initial thing. Right. Talk about something else that they enjoy.
I think that I'm old.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm like, bro, I lived this. I seen it. And I be trying to explain it to them. But it's like, they go one end, not the other.
That was 1800s.
And I'm just like, they're like, oh, you don't know this on my mind. You so old. You don't. Baby, I'm not that old. Like, but to them, it's like, you so old. But I'm like, if I'm this old, I know more than you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I done witnessed more than you. But I try to break this down to them. Yeah. And they don't. It's like going one end, not the other. So I just be like, trying to find a solution. You know what you should tell them? We said, you old, you understand as well. Tell me more. Tell me more about what you know. What do you know? Tell me more about what you know. What do you think? What was it that instead of saying your mom, you old, what's up? Well, tell me what's going on. What the youngest they think they know everything because of the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they think they see everything on the internet, so they just know everything. I said, baby, you ain't lived this life. Like you ain't even lived a partial of this life. Like you still up under me. You have to get up out of my house and then realize how life really is. But you don't really know. So I'm trying to tell you because I don't live long enough to tell you.
So they don't go through.
So they don't do the same thing. So it's like.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just having a different approach. You can't always have the same approach a lot of times to certain situations because everybody doesn't react or understand the same way as you would think them to. It would be nice if y'all could have the same approach to how you listen to stuff or understand stuff, but everybody's just different, and that's why I said, I had somebody come to me before, and she was like, my son, he basically, I think he broke his leg or something like that, and he's been at home, he's been healing, he started to get depressed. I said, okay, well, what does your son enjoy? I don't know. Find out what he enjoys. Give him something to do to stay active. Keep his mind active. Because if you give him something like, I don't know, Legos or a video game or a wood shop, whatever he enjoys doing. And for me, growing up as a kid, and I was telling him earlier, we were talking about earlier, I was in the Goosebumps books. I love reading Goosebumps books. My mom would go to Kmart, and again, I'm aging myself, go to Kmart, buy that $250 book. Again, that shows you how much things cost. And she would bring it home, and I would sit there and read it. And I would read it within a couple of days, I'd be done with the book. But again, it's just finding new ways because you can't just assume that the way you're doing it is the only way you can do it. Yeah. So.
That's why I've been liking the book that I read too, because it breaks down different things and different people. And when you learn how to read yourself, you can learn how to read others. So I naturally can read people, but it just makes it even more better, like an understanding. So I see my son in the book, like in ways and stuff like that. So I'll be trying to change him up a little bit, but when a kid is like rebellious and they in their teenage years, it's like hard to get in their head. So
I mean, sometimes you gotta fall. The kids gotta fall to learn.
And that's what because I deal with a lot of people that come to me for advice and I talk to them and everything good. But when it comes to my kids, it's like, God damn it! Like so, all these people know how to listen, but y'all can't listen. But
usually it's like usually a lot of habits usually come from parents. The parents, like your parents, like whatever the parents' habits were, you usually generally pick up.
But you know what? When I see him, I'll be like, yeah, that was me.
Exactly. I don't say it.
That was me. They say it'd be 10 times worse.
This is karma talking to me. Okay, that's karma not listening.
Everything you heard, all that chance that you was talking back, you was twisting your head and spinning your fingers and everything else. All that stuff coming back.
I see him now, I'm like, this definitely was me, bro. He looked worse, but I would look like, Mom, I'm sorry. Because I definitely was a wild child. But that was that though. I wanted to just pick our minds about like the emotional part of it. But absolutely. I do have a segment where it's called sorry y'all. Hit it. Look, I've been had a week. I mean, but, okay, so culture vulture, and it just will go along with what we've been talking about, the things that's going on right now, like with the Noah Wells case and stuff like that. I want y'all input on that, like how y'all feel, because I know how I feel, so I'll break it down after y'all.
So I have a lot in my head about it. I've been trying to like stay out of social media sometimes, because sometimes I feel like
it becomes too much.
Even with myself professionally, career-wise, we have to be mindful of who we put ourselves around. There are times where people represent themselves to us in a false way, and we think that they're okay, and then when we're with them, they're something different. And so we have to be mindful of that. I know this morning I was looking and they started talking about like what was happening with the boat, how the timeline and all of this stuff is not adding up. And for me, it's like, regardless if I left you or not, why did you take my phone and why do you have my keys? I'm not leaving someone with
really, you can't. There's no teenager that would leave their phone anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is like, it's any adult that'll leave their phone. Like, everybody is like stuck to their phone, so they'll make you raise your eyebrows. Like, hold on, wait, something.
Even with myself, if I leave the house and my phone is there and I notice and I've driven 15 minutes, I'm turning back around and go get it. Yep. Like, no one
Everybody's done that.
is gonna leave their phone.
And I got kids and they got like white friends, and I don't have nobody against them, but I also want them to know, like, you know what I'm saying, a group of you by yourself with a group of, it's different, like, you know what I'm saying, but I don't want to be like, oh no, you can't have white friends, but at the same time I want them to be aware, like, of what's going on. Like, they can like you, y'all be cool, but their parents can't like you, you know what I'm saying? So then you go over there and they gonna side with their parents at the end of the day if anything happens to you, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard trying to, you know what I'm saying, teach your kids not to be racist towards that, but at the same time, you have to be like aware of the stuff that's going on. So.
And then the other thing for me was like when the parents went and got the phone, why didn't you all give them the keys? Like, why did they have to come back another time to know that you had his
and
keys?
I think they had to locate the phone, didn't they? Yeah, they had to locate. Because they didn't bring the phone right to them. They had to locate it. So. Yeah,
so
that
if
case
you called
make
the
me
mother and said he was missing, why not say at that time, we have
got his phone, I got his keys.
He has his keys, you can come and get it.
Yeah.
So
anytime to concoct that story. Yeah, that's I mean,
it's a scary situation, honestly, and it's one that, you know, is nothing fortunately new to us, you know, especially as being adults, and we've been around for many a moon, and our parents have told us, you know, watch the company you keep, you know, because everybody, again, is not trying to be helpful to you, and they can be harmful to you. So watch the company you keep. Now, again, when we went to college, you know, we went to the same college. We all know we were primarily minorities there. It was primarily a white college, but a lot of us would stick around with each other. We'd be in the Center for Black Studies. We'd be in certain other areas, but it's more of us. But we'd be together, so we kind of just gravitated that way. But again, it's not to say that, you know, we don't have allies, you know, who are different races and don't look out for it. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure you just keep your kids mindful of everything, because just because you're in a white area doesn't mean that things won't happen. Just because you're in a black area doesn't mean things won't happen. You just got to be very mindful. And my mom was telling me, like, never wear your headphones in both ears, you know, when you're out there, because you can't hear what's going on. You don't know what's happening. And she said, you know, keep your eyes open. My dad, like, keep your third eye open. Make sure you're watching your surroundings, because you never know what people are up to. You could be in your car, somebody, he rear-ends you, and they try to set you up to you know, take your car. So again, you have to just be very mindful of what you're around and who you're around and what you're doing things with. So, but again, it's very sad, it's very hurtful. You know, like, we're very scared, and again, it just builds up more trauma that's already been there that we've had for many years. So, you know, I'd always hope that the parents get, you know, the real story about what happened. But again, kid lost his life. You know, they have to bury his son. You know, no parent should ever have to bury a child for them.
That's my biggest fear, because I have boys, and then when I see stories like that, it just make me cringe, because it's like, you know what I'm saying, it can happen to anybody. Like, you know what I'm saying, you won't even think like, oh, he just going out to hang out and your son will come back. That's like, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to think. I wouldn't even know where to start, because I'd be so like, this happened to me. Oh my God. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard reading those stories. Sometimes I'd have to like clicks. You know what I'm saying? When I watch it, because it makes me go to like my kids after I put myself in that situation. It's just like I don't even know what to do now, and it ain't even me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if it was me, I wouldn't know what to do. So yeah, that it's hard for me to read those type of stories. So I mean, like I read a little bit just so I can get, you know, what's going on, but then I like try not to read like too many comments and stuff like that, because some people are ignorant, like really ignorant.
There's a lot of, that's the bad thing. There's a lot of ignorance online, like and on social media. People can type their harsh content about how they feel about something behind a keyboard and no picture, because that's how they feel. But
and it's crazy how many people like that out here though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so,
and they're hiding, like, you know,
and you're hiding until somebody catches you, and then all of a sudden
that IP address.
the IP address, and now all of a sudden everything's coming ahead. And you know, I do like the fact that you do catch these people, but again, there's still many more who still think and feel the same way. So.
You know, too, man, this is America. Like, this is, if you ever travel, if you've ever traveled, then you know that this is the most dangerous place on earth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember the first time I went to Mexico, and they was like, you know, Mexico, you know, the cartel, blah, blah, blah. When I was in Mexico, I didn't hear a siren. It was peaceful the entire time, right? Like, here, you have to have your head on a swivel everywhere. Because it was like, at one point in time, like the major cities. But nowadays, like, man, schools get shot up, movie theaters get shot up, parking lots get shot up. Like, this is America. Like,
I was just talking to DC in the car earlier today, and I was talking about my sister and them is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I say about 10 years ago, like, I was out there, and it was just like really white and Africans and stuff like that. It wasn't really like no gang shit going on. But I just went out there this last Thanksgiving, November, and it was like drug heads on the street. I hear about shootings on the news and radio. I'm like, God damn, like South Dakota got like this. So it's like literally anywhere right now, because if that can go like that, like, that's like, because that was just literally like the whitest town I've been in.
That's how Kelvin right now.
No, for real, like,
everybody told me.
But it's not like that no more. Like, I went out there, it's like hood shit going on. You like, that's the ghetto part over there. Like, they got a ghetto now?
That's the thing. Like, this America. Like, I don't, like, before you even get to the race part, just in general, like, here we had a little boy go on a stabbing spree. He just started walking up stabbing people for no reason. Just mental health crisis. Just start stabbing people, right? And then you got you never know who's going to shoot something up, right? And it's kind of like, here you got to teach your children to have like situational awareness, and like, you don't get you can be in your house, you don't get a chance to rest, because you never know what's going to happen on your block, you know what I'm saying? Or what's going to happen down the street. Like, I was living out in a little suburb from here, and I woke up one day, opened my garage door, the garage across the way from me was like covered in blood. And I was like, what the done happened? But some Land Kings they didn't get invited to a party that was happening. They told them they had to leave. They came back, they got active, right? So now it's blood all in. I'm like, but that's the thing. It is directly a problem.
But it ain't even just like the black community, because it's like, it's different cultures of people, because out there, it ain't just like, a lot of black people came out there. It's out there, but you got a lot of different races out there, and they rapping down, they want to shoot, and like.
Once you get to the race part of it, like Black America, all right, here's my message for Black America. I kind of feel sympathy for us. Then again, if I smack you, right, like if you see me, we meet in the street and I smack you, the first day, that's on me. Yeah. If we meet in the street, you see me coming the second day and I smack you again, now that's kind of on you. By the time we like on day 10, it's like, damn, you know I'm about to smack you when I see you. You know what I'm saying? So for us, like, race issues that happen in America, like, ain't nothing new. Like, that's as American as American pie. Like, hangings, lynchings, murder, children disappearing. Like, the little boy I remember back in Georgia some years ago, who got wrapped up in the gym mat and his organs was missing.
Yeah.
They're like, he wrapped himself up in the gym mat and took his organs out. I'm like, wait,
how did you do that?
He was really good at playing Operation as a child.
I was actually just thinking about that the other day, because we utilize some of those mats when kids are like hitting with. And they can't wrap themselves.
Yeah, the match is heavy.
Yeah,
they can't do that.
How he take his own organs out is crazy. Yeah. It's like,
and it was standing straight up.
Man,
There's no way it's going to open back up.
Yeah,
there's no way you can.
So it's just like, American history is like, and for us, I guess the extra layer for us is everybody lives in America has to have their head on a swivel. But when you Black, you gotta watch out for other Black people, because we know how our people are. And it's not just the streets. It's like all kind of like mental health crisis. And then you got to watch out, especially you got to watch out for like police, but you got to watch out for white folks in particular, because we know the history between us two, and we've always been on the victim side, right? And then if we talk about it, they be like, stop being victims. Like, well, you say stop being victims. Yeah. Wow, you say stop being victims, but you did. I just seen a video on social media. This couple, this family's outside minding their business outside their house. This white dude grabs his wife, gets an AR, pulls up on him. Like, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? They outside their house just kicking it. Like, not bothering nobody. He just, today was the day he figured, these are the people I want to mess with. And then he want to yell when he didn't know they were strapped. And they start, you know what I'm saying? They start up and blitz.
Yeah, they got busy with it.
And now all of a sudden it's, they shooting. When you jumped out with an AR-15, but not bothering them. And so it's kind of like, on one side of it, like, it's tragic what happens to us in this country. But on the flip side, like, I'm just not shocked by none of it. Like, it's like, this is how it's always been. Like, it's not like Obama got in office and all of a sudden, we need spring. You know what I'm saying? Now we're in a post-racial society. We all we all can use the bathroom together though, so everything's okay. So
I'll say this, to quote a minor philosopher, racism still alive, we just conceal it. Kanye.
True story.
The problem is that parents are trying to teach we're teaching our children that we're like everybody else. When we have laws made against us, you know what I'm saying? We weren't granted freedoms, we were granted privileges. You know what I'm saying? So like we have to keep it 1,000 with our children. Like I grew up, I had white friends too, but guess what I couldn't do? Couldn't be at their house. You know what I'm saying? They could come over. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I was raised by my grandparents. They from Mississippi. They know how white people get down. So you know what I'm saying? Like they had white friends. You know what I'm saying? But did they go any further than the den? No. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's like a front room. You know, so we have to keep it real about racism in America. Racism built America. Racism, racism, capitalistic society, America. Racism will run rampant. Period. They go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying?
Now let me say this though. I'm saying this on the podcast for the first time. This is dope. My little brother called me yesterday, and y'all can sound off on this. I'm encouraging us to like get our family history. My little brother called me yesterday, and he was like, "Yo, I found you in the bloodline." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So long story short, my granny my dad's mother is like 94, right? And like her people was old enough that her people, like her either mother or grandmother, was alive when Abraham Lincoln was alive. Wow. So this is just so we can understand how short of time we're talking about, right? That we like 1 or 2 degrees away from Abraham Lincoln. And so she was talking to my little brother, and he was going through getting like the family history. Well, come to find out, right? So our last name is McDavid, but we learned yesterday that down south, before our family came to the north, the last name was McGee. But what happened was there was a family member who got into it with the Klan, and the Klan said they was coming or whatever. And he said he wasn't going to like no punk. He's about to catch bodies. So he went and got a shotgun. He sent the women and children up north and told them to change their name to McDavid because the Klan will be looking for the McGees. Right? Which is kind of weird. Because now I was like, yo, any women with the last name McGee? Like, yo, I need to know what's going on. So now McDavid, McGee, what is happening? But he was telling me, he was like, so you're not the only rebel in the family. Like it's so in my, I guess, I don't know if that would have been like my great whatever grandfather. He caught like 10 bodies. So I was proud, you know, as a descendant. Like, no, the Klan won't lay him down. He caught like 10 bodies, and then we don't know what happened after that. So they probably got to him, but he didn't go out like no punk. He got busy, he got active. So like hearing that from my little brother, I was like, Dad, that's kind of lit. So it made me want to tell like everybody else, like encourage us to like look your family history up to see like where you come from, what your people was into, because I'm just now hearing that for the first time yesterday.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I actually found out from my dad, and this is kind of funny because I think it's in Tennessee or Georgia. I think it's in Georgia though. There is a medical facility that's actually named after my great aunt, and nobody knew about it until the last name is Sexton. And nobody really knew about it until my dad told me, said, yeah, you know, they had this medical facility that was named after her. But again, nobody really kind of told the story about exactly how that line went down. And again, it's one of those things where because of the fact that we don't have that oral history like we had, and I wish we still had the grandparents who talked to us and told us about things, and could tell us about how things were. Because my grandfather on my parent on my mother's side, they came up during holidays, but they didn't really talk to me, and I found out that my grandfather only had like maybe a 4th grade education. And he actually ran away from home because his family was beating him up when he was a child. So it's like you don't know this history because nobody talks about this history, and it gets lost on a lot of people. And it's like when they say an old person died, a history library died with them. So it's like you don't get to hear about these things. So if you have older people who can tell their stories, like Sammika had a friend whose grandmother was like, what you said, she was like 90-something years old.
She was 90-something.
Yeah, and she literally have seen literally almost everything in the last almost 100 years of American history. You know how much story that could be put into a book, and how much information that we can know about when it comes to something like that, and it's something that we should know. But
I mean, she lived through the Great Depression.
Exactly, she lived through all that stuff, and it's like you have seen everything. Like you've seen everything from the segregation to the first black president of the United States. That's a lot of history to go through. And so stuff like that needs to be talked about, written down, and cataloged, because I believe recently the last Tuskegee Airman passed away, and the last survivor of the Tulsa, Alabama passed away. And I'm not sure if anybody ever got their history.
No, you know what? My school got invited to Tulsa, Oklahoma for the 100th centennial of Black Wall Street. Yeah. And when we were down there, we took like 20 children down there for the 100th centennial. And there's a brother, I can't recall his name, but he has they got a plethora of history on it. But here's what's dope. I shouldn't say dope, because I'm going to ask you a question behind this. So OSU campus is on, if you've ever been to Tulsa, OSU campus is like right on where, it's like, what is it? I think Pine and Greenwood, right? So when they went to excavate the ground to dig up the baseball field for OSU campus, they found thousands of bodies. Yeah. That's not part of the official Tulsa, Oklahoma story. Wow. That's unaccounted for, like mass graves. So when we hear the story, we hear about like they burning the city down, everybody leaving, whatever. But when they dug the baseball field up, they was like, it's all these bodies is unaccounted for. And even now, when people tell the story, most of us are telling like the watered down version. Yeah. We're not getting like the full what happened here, because they found bodies everywhere. Littered. It wasn't just like, we heard like 400 people killed here. Like, they slaughtered black people like wholesale. You know what I'm saying? So here's my question to y'all, and I even bring it up too, is what do y'all think? How do you think with y'all working like mental health fields and dealing with like men's health, and you dealing with children with autism and behavior things, how do you think like epigenetics affects us also? Because we're dealing with, to my understanding, how epigenetics works is, even traumas that may have been passed down, trauma is passed down. And so we may be facing traumas that's not even ours to carry personally, but we still dealing with it. Like whatever happened during slavery, and whatever happened during, civil rights, and whatever happened during COINTELPRO, and like all of that, crack, cocaine, all the way up to now, like we're dealing with a lot of those traumas. So like I guess my question is, how do we address stuff like that when talking to our people, generational trauma?
And so for me, I would say some of the first things is to actually talk about it, because we don't talk much about any of that. We hold it in and try and hide it. And then not understanding that a lot of we've had this conversation like a year ago before, that a lot of stuff that even in the actions and things that we see that Black people do, it still stems from the past. Absolutely. It still stems from slavery and how we respond to things. And so it's going to actually take someone within each generation to decide I'm going to work on healing. I didn't say heal because I'm saying healing, because it's going to be a continuous process that we have to work through. There were a number of studies done that shows like how trauma affects you in adulthood. So it's people out here living with diabetes, high blood pressure, and all of that is correlated to the trauma from your childhood. Wow. You don't understand.
That's why I heard that. I'm sorry. Like with healing, like people that's on medication, if they like heal certain situations, they like reduces the pills and stuff that they have to take. Like they get healthier, basically. So like that's healing. Just, healing old trauma and all that type of stuff. So Yeah, I just want to throw that in there because I heard that too. I'm just like,
a lot of
it
us
makes
don't
sense now.
understand that. Like from the conversation what we were talking about earlier, when people think that I've experienced this, so it's okay for my child to go through the same thing and it didn't do anything to me. But a lot of us can't stand up for ourselves in a workplace. A lot of us can't communicate properly. A lot of us can't express our emotions when something is wrong because of things that happen to us in our childhood.
Absolutely.
And we translate that all the way back to when our families were slaves, to where they didn't stand up for themselves because they were afraid to get beaten. And all of this stuff just keeps carrying on and on. And so it's going to take us to actually start talking about it, being able to process it, and then understanding like it's going to be a continuous process.
That was deep. I like that. I don't know if you want to chime in on that.
I don't know if there's anything I can say at that point. That's pretty much it. Said it all. With everything, understanding the trauma, where it comes from, the healing process, and again, it's going to take a lot of us to really sit down and say, we're going to learn how to family as to how to deal with this. We're going to go start to see a therapist, either as a family or individually, that are going to start helping us understand what we're going through and how we can deal with these situations, because we can't keep having this domino effect go on after this point in time, because that's exactly what it is. It's a domino effect. Once you have one domino fall, it's going to tumble and hit the next one, and it's not going to go away until eventually somebody says, I'm taking away this piece of the domino.
Right.
It's not going to keep going this way. So it's going to be one of those things where, again, it's going to take all of us to start advocating for ourselves, like you said, make sure that we're getting the help that we need to deal with these traumas. Again, that means talking to people who are in your congressman, talking to people who have the ability to get the stuff done, education, because these people work for you. You're paying your taxes and all your money to these people. Have them do their jobs.
And if I can jump in right
Yes.
I think that we as black people, we think that policy changes mindset.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case.
No, it's not.
Policy, the letter of the law needs to be interpreted with no bias. You know what I'm saying? So if I say, if you do this, this, and this, then this is the crime. You know what I'm saying? Then that's how it should be. The problem is that black people too damn compassionate. And too fucking forgiving. I'm sorry, I've been holding it in on you. Just too forgiving, and racism doesn't exist anymore. And we've been free for X amount of years, so therefore we're the same as everyone else. We are not. Like, I do agree with you that we need to make sure that we're getting the right people in places to make decisions on our behalf. The problem is that once we vote them in, we find out what they don't have our best interests at heart at all. So therefore, what is the plan? Maybe the plan is to create our own political party. You know what I'm saying? But then when you start talking like that, then you have what I call the boule, the black boule. You got them, and the gatekeepers, and they're like, well, we don't need, that's too radical. You know what I'm saying? That's too radical. It's not cool to be called. It's a threat to be called black. You know what I'm saying? Like the black political party in the United States. That's too radical. How about we change it up? How about we call it the urban? But then once we do that, what happens?
You can invite everybody else.
You don't let the minority. Here come Karen, Nancy, you know what I'm saying, and Jennifer. Here they come. And they got black kids. So white people need to. When black people were on the rise the most was during segregation. Yeah. Because we were forced to what?
Unite. We're ourselves with each other.
We had to organize.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The minute they said, you know what, you can go eat at this soup counter now. You know what I'm saying? Now our black business is dead because we associate this diner over here with freedom and liberation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not. It's just you just stepped into another form of capitalistic state.
And one thing I'm going to add on to that too is that the biggest problem is the personal education that we have for ourselves and for our children. A lot of times because of the fact that we aren't educating our kids because we don't know the information. You have a lot of ignorance showing, you got more ignorance into more ignorance. It's not people learning and wanting to understand stuff. Usually, on our generation, when we are our parents were readers. That's all we didn't have internet. We didn't have all that stuff. You had to read. You had to research. You had to learn this stuff. It wasn't just thrown.
At your fingertips.
Yeah, the fingertip. You had to learn this stuff because you wanted to know this stuff, because you needed to know this stuff, and because of the fact that we don't take the education as serious as we should. Say, for instance, you go to a place like Japan or China, you know how bad education is, like the number one tier thing. Their suicide rate is usually dictated by people who are educated, who are not getting to the top of their classes.
Right.
Most of their kids commit suicide because they're not top of their classes. Like, they gotta be top tier. We don't take that education here as seriously, so that's the reason why we have such a disconnect and stuff, because of the fact that there's not enough people educated at home. There's not a lot of people educated in the offices, and we don't hold these people accountable for anything. And when you don't hold these people accountable for anything, what happens? You let people do whatever they want to do, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Well, I voted. Well, what else did you do? Did you do anything else besides vote?" Like that. I don't know when it became the synopsis that if we vote, all of a sudden everything's gonna turn to blue skies. Everybody's gonna have a cupcake. Everybody's gonna be able to have rainbow sprinkles. It doesn't work that way.
Nice piercing.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. It's like that stuff does not happen unless you constantly working on these things and you're putting people in there who are going to be working at these things. Why are you not going to these parent-teacher meetings? Why are you not going to these city council meetings? Why are you not going to anything that has to do with anything that's going on in your neighborhood? Why are you not even watching this stuff on CNN or anything or any other channel? They publicize this stuff so you can actually know what's going on. But you're watching, like you said, ESPN, watching everything else, but what stuff that actually matters to understand what's happening. So if we actually watch the stuff that matter, we take it more seriously. You can't pull. I always tell people this all the time. As long as I read, I'm unfit to be a slave. Because if I'm reading some information, if I understand what's going on, like I said, the best way to hide information from a black person is to stick it in a book. But and it works now more than ever, because it's like, you can find out anything you want to if you really want to learn it. But where's your inquisitive curiosity to want to learn?
You know what, too, is when we say education, as an educator, I try to make this huge. Education doesn't mean what we learn inside these four walls.
Yes.
Real education is like, do you have the ability to critical think, right? For critical thinking. Because critical thinking is what real education is. Like, can somebody give you something and you can think your way through it? Because a lot of times we just get fed scripts, right? Like what social media has done to us is like give us headlines.
Yeah.
So social media feeds us a headline and then we run with it. We're like, oh, this happened, that happened, that happened. But did you take the time to actually go through? It was crazy. I had this conversation and we was talking about R. Kelly. And I was like, they was like, yeah, R. Kelly went to prison, whatever, on a RICO charge for what he did to them young girls. I'm like, that's not what R. Kelly. But you didn't read, right? You saw the headlines, but that's not the actual. When you get to the actual documentation of what he actually did, it's not that. Even though we may know, we may know certain stuff, like, oh, well, we know this and that, but it's the actual reading, and then not just reading, being able to digest what you're reading, process it, and then like compare and contrast, like this versus this versus this. So like something I do with my students, I'll have them do. We do a project called The Impossibility of Santa Claus. And we take all these abstract ideas like, okay, how many houses does Santa Claus have to deliver presents to, right?
Yeah. And
then how much time would it take him if he had 1 second per house? And then how much would the sleigh have to weigh? If these reindeer could fly, what would be the formulas? And then by the time you get through the absurdity of Santa Claus, but you use critical thinking to get there. But we'll do like Noah's Ark, and we'll be like, all right, if Noah had all these animals in his ark and it's this size, so animals from the desert, animals from the rainforest, animals from the jungle, animals from the Arctic, they're all in this one, so he had to have advanced technology. But what about the animals that eat other animals? And what about the animals that eat trees? And what about the animals? So by the time you get through the actual critical thinking, you're like, wait a second, something is missing here. And a lot of times with us, with our people, what I find is we read headlines and then social media, because like TikTok and YouTube shorts and reels, we're used to consuming information on 15 and 30-second plays, and we're on to the next thing. Because I heard somebody say, you can learn more today in like 5 minutes than most of our parents could learn in a week, right? You can learn about sharks, then Mars, then bats, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you just going through. You're just learning. But are you taking the time to Because the internet, the main source on the internet is trust me, bro.
Yeah.
And when trust me, bro, is your source,
Exactly.
it's like, ooh, is that, you know what I'm saying? Is that legit? So, I mean, for me as an educator, that's huge. That's huge when it comes to all of that. And all the way back to entrepreneurship. All the way back to entrepreneurship. Like, even how we do business. And part of so here's the statistic says the Black community has a national spending power of $1.6 trillion, but less than 1.2% of that money goes back into Black hands. So there's a huge disconnect because money circulates and blood circulates. And if only 1.2% of your blood circulated your body, you're dead, right? Because like we have a dead community when it comes to like economics and not understanding how business actually works. Like the more I've been around people and the more I've been in coaches, I have a lot of coaches, and the more I got more coaches and the more I've done more coaching and been around, I'm like, oh, all my ideas on entrepreneurship was complete bullshit. It was just stuff I made up because I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna do this. Like I spent thousands of dollars. I mean, one of the businesses I had, I was like, I'm gonna do purse parties. And then I was like, I went and bought, I spent like $5,000. Got like, you know, probably knockoffs. Got like the Louis and the Gucci's and all that type of stuff. So I got all that stuff. And I was like, man, okay, I don't know nobody in this city. I'm like, yo, where do they rock this type of stuff? They tell me out here, like Auburn Manor. I'm like, bet I need to do a purse party in Auburn Manor. I don't know what the income is at this place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got these products, da da da. Nobody can afford it. I'm like, man, I'm not making no money. But I didn't understand marketing. I didn't understand sales. I didn't understand operations. I didn't understand systems. I didn't understand nothing entrepreneur related. It's just all just ideas because there was nobody looked like me that was teaching that. You know what I'm saying?
But one of the big things I tell people all the time is that, and this is a big one, you learn more from your failures than you do from your success.
Absolutely.
Because in fact, the people assume that just because they failed that it obviously it's not anything you can't learn from. You can learn from that. You know, you learn from what you said about the person. It was a good idea. It just wasn't the way where you needed to be at and not how you wanted to turn out. And it just took you to learn how to do something different. Or to switch off to something else that may work.
But it leads to something I teach.
Exactly.
It leads to something I teach right now, which is that trial and error is the most expensive and the worst way to do entrepreneurship because no matter what you're doing, there's somebody who's already done it.
Exactly.
There's already a pathway forward and a blueprint that you can follow. Like you said with the books, right? It's a pathway forward where somebody's done something similar. Where I think in the Black community, part of our problem is, and it's something I experienced because I've had a bunch of high ticket coaches, and it's like at the time when I got it, I was like, all right, so my first coach was Professor Robinson. I was opening up a beauty supply store. I hired BSI in Atlanta, but it was like I had to spend like 100 bands. If you don't have 100 bands to spend, how are you going to go in to open up this business, right? My second coach was Markwell Russell. Now, mind you, when I met him in Atlanta at a Social Proof Alumni Dinner with a link card in my pocket. Right, and I'm like, all right. By the time I got the price to hire him, it's like $15,000. You don't got $15,000 to put up to get that coach. So there's this disconnect because the information is that valuable, right? And you got to pay these people for their time, but the disconnect becomes like, how do we connect the information that we need to be successful with the people who have it without them being, like DC said, like gatekeepers, right? Like without them being gatekeepers. But a part of that too is like making sure you're in the right circles, networking with the right people, being in the right places. And
I can be completely honest with you, you know, and my wife was networking with some women before, you know, and when she told me about this group that she had networked with, this women's group, they were about business. I mean, she was like, these people were literally about business. She's like, every woman was in there and said, what, I need your business card, I need your contact information, I need to know what you do. And I'm going to hook you up with this. I'm going to tell you who's doing this and who's going to be doing that. Now, all of them weren't Black. Now, again, they were a mixed group of people. But again, it's people who are in that room who are about their business. And, you know, the old saying is, if you're the smartest person in that room, you're in the wrong room. You need to get in a different room with people who are trying to be doing the same stuff you're doing. Which is my other thing about, you know, being being an entrepreneur. It's not for everybody. But I tell people, it's better to be at the discretion of yourself than the pleasure of somebody else.
Because
the fact that you got to understand that once the job finds somebody who can do your job for less money and faster, they're going to get rid of you and move on to the next person.
Absolutely.
Now, again, I'm not saying entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. It's not. But just be very wary of that information because, again, we live in right now employers market where employers have control of everything right now, and people are trying to get what they can get, which is why we got people working 2 or 3 jobs right now to try to make ends meet. So again, it's all about understanding, what you're trying to do with your life. Set yourself up the right way, structuring yourself the right way to be that in that place. Networking like you never networked before. I wish I had networked a lot more when I was in college. If I had networked a lot more when I was in college, I probably would be a lot further than where I am now. But again, even though I'm not, I'm still learning that grind, and I'm still getting better as I'm going forward. And it doesn't mean that I'm a terrible person. Doesn't mean I'm a failure. It just means I've learned from my mistakes, and also which makes me human.
Absolutely.
All the time I said, whenever I make a mistake, it just proves I'm human.
Absolutely.
So, again, just keep working at it, keep moving forward, and you'll keep.
I asked y'all a question earlier. Y'all didn't answer it.
Yes.
I want to jump in.
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Because you mentioned something. You mentioned so the price of coaching, let's say, is $15,000, and then most people can't afford it. But earlier you were mentioning that how you had something that was, I believe, 100 and
the 197.
The 197. There will still be a lot of people who will say that they can't afford that. And it's not because they can't afford it, it's because they're afraid to invest back in
Absolutely.
themselves.
1,000%.
Because you can go to a restaurant and spend $200
Absolutely.
on you and your friends, or buy a purse, or go and get your hair done for that same price, but you will not invest back within yourself. And so I just wanted to throw that out there, that there's still, even if we lower that ticket price, because if you want to do hard, you're
It's worse when you do it for free, because when you do it for free, they don't value it.
They don't value it.
what I'm saying?
That's what I was just about to say. There's
On this
no real
podcast,
value in it
I was talking about why I don't coach for free anymore, right? And I was saying that I gave certain people opportunities for free, and then the sister that was on the pod was like, I was one of them, and I was like, so tell them what your homework assignment was for me. Like the first homework assignment I gave, she's like, you told me to read this book, and I was like, just think about that for a second. So you got to give me for free, and at that time, part of my coaching package was the fact that I got there's about 50 multimillionaires that I'm connected to in my network that I can call on the phone that's gonna pick up, right? So you turned down that opportunity when all you had to do, and I told her, you ain't gotta read the book, you can listen to the audiobook while you work out, and you couldn't get through. I gave her like Think and Grow Rich. So online audiobooks like 10 hours.
Yeah.
So you couldn't put 10 hours towards your business and becoming a better version of you that understands business and Think and Grow Rich is just conceptual, right? Because Napoleon Hill didn't get rich. Napoleon Hill was part con artist, right? It's just the concepts in the book. You couldn't give 10 hours to yourself. So if you wouldn't pay 10 hours to yourself to get better so you can make more money, then I know you're not going to put the money up for whatever. And that, a lot of times, I agree with you 1,000%. It's not even about the actual price. That's why high ticket coaches have their prices, because you don't want everybody. As a coach, I don't want to work with everybody because there's certain people. Is another real example. There's a sister over here who sells products outside. She came to me for coaching one day. I guess she knew my guy, so I only entertained it because she knew my guy. He called me from the city, talking to him like, all right. So she comes, and I'm like, I asked her a question about her business, and she says, DC is my witness. He was there. She says she has a business, but she's not making money. So I start diagnosing. Why not? Oh, well, I'm only open a few days out of the week. When are you open?
Out the month.
Out the month, I'm sorry. When are you open? What days are you open? What's not consistent? Well, how you gonna get consistent customers if you're not consistently open?
Exactly.
How much is your rent? Like $1,000. So hold on. I told her, close the business, right? The money that I'm charging you just to say you have a business, but you're not getting any real results. And so you're trying something that has a failure rate of almost 100%. Because if you're only gonna be there, she's like, well, I can't afford to be there because nobody's buying from me. No, nobody's buying from you because you're not there. Like, you have to be there consistently just to get customers nobody knows. I'm like, that business model is failing you because you're paying just to say you have a business. That's number one. Then like number two, all right, do you want to invest in coaching? Well, see, what happened is my children, I'm like, the answer is no. Because it's either yes and everything else is no. It's either yes or everything else is no. And what happened to me in my situation, I was on the call, I was on a discovery call, we walked through the whole thing, and I was saying stuff on this call like, oh my God, this is the thing I've needed my entire life, right? God must have sent you. Mind you, now God doesn't send it from the heavens. So he asked me on a call, are you sure God said it? I'm like, listen, this is the thing that's going to change my life. Then he said, all right, here's the price, right? When he said the price, I'm like, no, Satan had to say this. This couldn't be God, right? Because my heart was beating in my chest. Told me 15,000. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't have 15,000, right? I don't even know how I'm going to gain access to 15,000. And I'm like, my beauty supply store, we're averaging 3 customers a day. Black people do not shop here, right? I'm behind on the rent. We about to get evicted from the beauty supply store. I'm about to get evicted from my home. I'm about to be behind on all my bills. Car's about to be repoed. And now, instead of taking care of that, you want me to pay $15,000 to get coaching. And my response on the phone was, yes. I said, give me a week. I got you. I know you want the 24 to 48 hours, but I got to go get the money. And within that week, I didn't know where it was coming from, but I knew it was coming. And then somehow I looked up, check comes in for like $30,000. And I'm like, all right, half of this is yours. And I got in, and it was the greatest decision I ever made in my life. Because that coaching program to this day is the reason why I know everything I know for the most part. And I'm still tight with the coach, all of the other coaches, the network, the community. I still go to Atlanta. I still go to the trainings. I still go to all the stuff. And it gave me a huge advantage over all my competitors. But I had to say yes. And that's the thing. A lot of us are scared to say yes because that leap of faith is...
Yeah, it's huge.
That leap of faith is different, right? 15,000 in my mind, you might as well say $1 million, right? Like I need $1 million at the end of the week.
You know the crazy part is that the 15,000 isn't even a lot of money.
It's not
compared to what amounts of money people make. And you know how much the CEO of Walmart, Target, Amazon make an hour? Crazy. They make that whole amount in 1 hour, less than an hour. And for us, again, we see that amount of money and we thinking, okay, well, that's ridiculously, expensive. But it's not. It's just that we have just been trying to train our thought process to think that it is. And, it's very hard to trick your mind or get your mind out of that mind state. It takes time.
No,
it's possible, but it takes time for people to get to that point where they can say that they can get to there.
In that same story, so the most amount of money I had made in a single day at that time was like $60,000 in a day. I always tell this story on all the podcast episodes. So I got the money. I called my coach on the phone, right? And I'm super geeked. I'm like, yo, I'm about to be rich. We about to be millionaires. It's going up. I called him. I was like, yo, I did $60,000 in a day. I was super geeked. The phone call lasted for like 5 seconds. He was like, when you're ready to start making real money, let me know. Click. And what a reality check, right? Because in my celebration, but I'm around people that made $1 million in a day, right? Yeah. And I'm like, to me, I'm coming from Walmart, putting boxes on shelves. Yeah. I'm coming from factories where it's like screw in a box, and just the conveyor belt moving. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming from the bottom. And so for me, that was a huge accomplishment, but he was trying to teach me the lesson of like, listen, you're not there yet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not there yet. And it's good. I'm glad that you did something successful, but where's the consistency? Where's your days? Where's your systems at? Where's the thing that's going to continually produce this for you? Because that money gonna be gone. Exactly. And sure enough, once you pay all your debts off, you start, man, this money gone.
That's gone.
Right? That money, that little 60,000 was up out of here. So it's for me, man. Entrepreneurship is like, that's what I do. So it's really something too. Because I feel like, and y'all can weigh in on this as entrepreneurs. I would like y'all opinion. For me, I feel like the best thing Black people can do with where we're at in America is, by the way, I mentioned the national spending power. So ours is 1.6 trillion in comparison to white America, which is 130 trillion. So 1.6 trillion versus 130 trillion. Like there is no keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah. None of us are rich. Yeah. Not our billionaires, not our multimillionaires. None of us are rich. 1.2 trillion. Apple by itself is a $2 trillion company, right? Elon Musk is richer than all of us, right? Combined. The 5 richest white landowners own more land than all 50 million blacks in America. So there is no keeping up with the Jones. So my question for y'all, like as entrepreneurs, is my opinion that entrepreneurship is the best thing we can do in our community to try to advance our community, right? In whichever form it comes, whether it's institutions, whether it's businesses, whether it's trainings, whether it's, I believe that more of us need to be in entrepreneurship because that at least is something we have control over within the scope of, rebelling against the government. That's the thing that we can do legally, lawfully, ethically, morally, and still stay within that realm. So that's my opinion, but I want to kind of get y'all opinion on that.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody, as I said before, everybody doesn't have entrepreneurship mind.
Correct.
Everybody is not there. Everybody doesn't want to be there. And that's the thing that we have to recognize is that everybody's not going to be there. That's not to say you can't get people to be there, but you have to have them want to be there. My dad has been a black-owned business for over 30 years. He's owned a record store in the city of Chicago, on South Side. It was on 95th and Jeffrey. Now he's on 87th Stony Island. He's had ups, he's had downs. And because of the fact that he's a record store, records, CDs, DVDs, what's going on right now? People aren't really buying that stuff anymore.
Right.
Because of the fact that we got digital downloads. We got everything is digital now. So for him to try to stay open against all these odds is very hard for him.
Absolutely.
And it takes, a community to support somebody to keep them going the way they're going. Now, he got support during certain times of the year. When the George Floyd thing happens, he got support.
Right.
When certain other things happen, he got support. But it wasn't a consistent support thing. So it's like a support system. So it's great that we can have people who want to be entrepreneurs, who can be entrepreneurs, and choose to be entrepreneurs. But again, we have to also have that support that goes along with it. Supporting those who are doing it, who want to do it, who can do it. And understanding that, I understand that you just ain't not about to do what you want to do. But even if you don't decide to do it, you can still support me by sharing stuff.
Right.
Buying stuff.
Now support me with money. Don't support me with nothing else.
Yeah. Hey, I tell people all the time. If you post stuff online on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I see it, I share it. I may not be able to afford what you're offering right now, but somebody else in my network.
I'm only saying that because of this, right? I mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
When you go to Walmart, you don't support Walmart. You just shop.
Yeah.
Black people we say stuff like, when I had my beauty supply store, people be like, oh, I supported you. And they were like, I bought a 99-cent pair of nail clippers 2 years ago. I'm like, no, that's not support. You came and shopped one time. Like we as a people got to get to the mindset of just doing business. When you go to Chinatown, they're not supporting Chinatown. They're just doing business.
Yeah.
And Chinese doing business with Chinese is the culture, and they understand, like, this is how you have a thriving, economic, sustainable society. With us, we look at each other business like, yeah, I supported him. He was selling a journal. I bought a journal. And then you're like, all right, what was that? 4 years ago. All right, listen, right? But but our mindset is never I supported Walmart, Target, you know what I'm saying, Starbucks. It's no, I go get Starbucks. Like, I do business with these people. I exchange as a consumer my dollar with them. And I agree with what you said 100%. We as a people are terrible consumers with our own people. Because it's always something like, oh, no, I was going to go to T, but you know what I'm saying? When I got his book, the corner was kind of tipped here, so I just went and got one at Barnes & Noble the white dude made, because his corner wasn't, we'll do each other like that. And that's kind of how we make a But here's a caveat to what you're saying, because I agree with everything you just said. This is a caveat. The average black business makes less than $30,000 a year. And we never, 99.97% of us don't get to the point where we can hire more people besides like ourselves and our spouse, right? Which means there's a huge gap in entrepreneurial education that we're missing. Huge, because most of us don't understand the business principles it takes to run a business. Like I talked about myself, we just get in a business and be like, we're going to do this. And it's just not a good way to do business. And so that gap, so the reason I said entrepreneurship, because you're 100% right, everybody can't be entrepreneurs. Some people are going to be entrepreneurs, some people are going to be the employees, right? But
that's what I was thinking related to your question.
Entrepreneurship, that's how you get employees, but for us, getting employees is so hard because where's the capital coming from? Where's the funding coming from? You get the grant, they cut the grant, right? Or you save up all your life. Like, it's a sister out here, she saved up all her life savings. It's so sad. She opened up her business. It was called Stacy's Dollar Store. It was right down the street on Forest Hill, and she was closed within like 6 months.
Wow.
Like her whole life savings. And then she was like, I got better products than the dollar store. I got all this stuff that people said that they wanted, and nobody comes to shop here. And then I in my case at that time, I was like, let's do a huge marketing campaign. So we got like 5,000 flyers, like put them in people's hands. And folks like, why would I go down there? We're like, what's black owned? And the difference was, like, even when we had our beauty supply store, I was like, listen, we put up like 10 scholarships for black children to go do whatever. We put up college scholarships. We put up, and even with all of that, it doesn't matter to most of us, because most of us, the trauma that we dealing with, we can't see outside of our trauma to even get to, like, you know what I'm saying? We're so deep in our trauma that we don't even see the benefit of like supporting each other in business, because if we did, a lot of the stuff in our community wouldn't be there. Like the vice lords won't have to sell dope in your community if you could produce a job for them. You know what I'm saying? Like if you talk to any brother selling dope, like, would you rather do this, or I can get you this job? Because if you tell them you're gonna get a McDonald's money, but I could just sell a pack, you know what I'm saying? I get McDonald's money in a day or two.
Exactly.
what would you rather do?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but you got to be able to produce like real income generating things. And I think that gap in entrepreneurship for us is like, if we can close that gap and start shrinking it, then it'll produce better results. Because same thing DC said back during segregation, that's what we had to do it.
Yeah.
We didn't have another option. You know, by the time Black Wall Street, we had hospitals, banks, doctors' offices, you know what I'm saying, movie theaters. We had a damn airport, 2 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you're forced to do it, you'll do it. But
Yeah.
that's the other caveat to that entrepreneur piece I was at. What's your opinion on it?
So I agree with both of you, but when I heard your question, I was thinking more of that Chinatown example. That we allow a lot of other people to come into our communities and sell and to do as they please. And we can't go into a lot of other communities and set up shop and to do all of these things.
A
It is
soul
going
food
to be
joint in
a
Chinatown.
shut down. We're going to get turned around. There's going to be delays. But we allow everyone else to just come in, and we go and support all those other people. But when someone Black opens up, we support them that first day. We videotape their opening day, and then we walk away after that. And so on a shutdown day, or when they say, what is it? Typically, shop Black on Saturday during certain months and all of those things.
Yeah.
And so that's when we support those businesses, but they need that support
Year
all
round.
the time.
2 things I'm gonna say real quick. So me and DC went to this restaurant out here. It was Black owned, and DC always talks about this. But the service was horrendous. It was. I would never come back, not because I want to support Black, but what they give us like it was horrendous.
What I always say this, I say, what will bring you to your doorstep? Good business practices have you coming back.
Yeah.
You know, so my thing is, I have no problem supporting a Black-owned business. I have no problem doing business with a Black-owned business. But if you put it out there that you're Black-owned, then what you doing for the community? You know what I'm saying? You're asking for the community to come to you, or what are you doing for the community? Are you passing out free icy cups when it's hot outside for the kids? Are you offering free literacy classes to single mothers or fathers?
It's Walmart doing that, though.
Huh?
It's Walmart doing that, though.
Walmart doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Walmart is in a position where it's for everyone. When you start marketing just to Black
Oh, you're
people,
saying if you market that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's because you're marketing. I'm Black owned. I'm Black owned. Come spend your Black dollar here.
So does
Then
Chinatown do
it's-
that? Is my question.
You say what?
Does Chinatown do that?
I don't know what Chinatown did to them people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying, what does Chinatown do to get the Chinese to support the Chinese?
Because they already, first of all, they already have a binding culture. You know what I'm saying? They
That's
already
their
have
mindset.
they're all coming from one particular area to over here. They all speak the same language. They have the same value system. You know what I'm saying? And they eat all the same stuff and most of the stuff that they eat, they supply it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have that.
We don't have none of that.
We don't have
No infrastructure.
That's the word I was looking for.
no
We don't have
infrastructure.
the infrastructure. So if you're promoting, hey, I'm Black owned, I'm over here, I'm doing that. Okay, I'll come shop with you. But if you keep pushing out to the Black community, then what are you doing for the community?
Right.
Because Walmart, Sam good, he do stuff. Sam do stuff. They have scholarships. They give away toys.
They do
good.
great
You know what I'm saying? We may not know about it. You know what I'm saying? But it happens. They donate to private institutions. They do these things. That's why a lot of those people shop at Walmart.
Right.
They may even be stakeholders in Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But as far as we go, it has to be a two-way street. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a two-way street because we don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the scary part. Because if we had to do it, we would do it and we would do it well.
Right.
LL Cool J.
All right, here's one other thing I'm gonna add in on the entrepreneur side is, I used to own a beauty supply store out here, and we got no business. It was terrible. It was like slow days every day. Outside of like grand opening week, everybody flooded, and then the numbers just dropped.
Yeah.
However, when COVID happened,
That's what picked back up.
When COVID happened and the governor shut everybody down, because Black folks is innovative, we found a way to keep our store open. So we switched it from being just beauty to like beauty and essential goods, right? So we also had like masks, gloves, other stuff, so we could stay open. And on average, during COVID, we averaged between 80 to 100 customers a day.
Wow.
It got to the point where we had to start shutting down on days because I couldn't keep enough inventory in the store because there's only beauty supply store open, right? And it was like it got to a point where I was coming in, opening boxes of hair and just dumping them out, and we just had piles of stuff. Like I couldn't even get it on the shelf because folks was coming in, snatching stuff up, and probably cleared $100,000 easily every couple, whatever, because we was the only ones open. So that let me know. I was like, damn, all y'all knew we was here? So I was like, okay. So I started asking questions like, why you didn't shop with us? So this lady comes in one day. She's like, y'all Rua here $650. It's $625 at the Arabs. I'd rather shop with them. And I'm like, well, take your ass down there. You know what I'm saying? They're not even open. But $650 to $625. And then I had another experience. This lady comes in. She wanted a certain brand. We had the brand. Then she was like, I want this human hair finger wave 1B wig that you got. So her daughter was like, oh, Mom, they got the exact wig that you're looking for in the thing. The mom takes it, she looks at it, she's like, nah, I want to get it. She's like, I want to go to the Arabs and see what they got. The exact wig. She said the finger waves are backwards. I'm like, yeah, Negro, because it's when you take the picture, it's the opposite direction.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what
you
got in. Tom Burrell talks about that in his book, Brainwash. He did 20 years of advertising and marketing. And he talked about, distrust. Black folks honestly just don't trust each other.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like it can't be this. It gotta be something else.
So you got everything I need?
Yeah.
But you're still not.
Yeah. Like how did you?
It's like that whole ice theory they used to have. They said, well, they think that your ice is not as cold
Right,
as
it's
someone
not
else's
as cold.
ice. It's
Yeah.
someone else's ice or something.
So
like
I seen that with my own hands, and then so when COVID ended, the day the other stores opened up, so it was like we went from like. Now, we were gaining some traction, so we might got to like 5, maybe 10 customers a day. After COVID, it went from it was like 100, 50, 30, 10, 5. Now I was like, it's time to close shop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to, while we got the money and while we ahead, got to close shop now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, all the money we made, we're going to burn through.
Exactly.
And then we're going to be right back where we started. COVID just was a blessing for us. And
Exactly.
everybody had money during COVID, so they could spend. And that was it was crazy because we hired even during that time period, we were moving so much product. I had to hire people and pay them on a day-to-day basis in cash because we were moving so much product. And I was asking them questions like, do you shop here? And it's like, no, I ain't gonna shop here. And I'm like, well, what's the things that you need to shop here? They're like, we want a clean store. Nobody cleaner than us. Now, I will say this. I learned this from Professor Devin. He said it's something psychologically about what the Asians do. They get, most people don't know this unless you're in the beauty supply business. They can get up to like a $5 million loan or $10 million loan on like a 5-year net. Impossible for us to get. It doesn't matter what your credit score is, how much money you walk in, you're never gonna get a 5-year net. So they get a 5-year net, millions of dollars of property, big box store when you come in. Those stores are huge. My store is smaller because I don't have the capital to put up $5 million, right? So I can get like exactly what's asked for. You want rules? So we got 1B, we got 1B, 2, 4. What's the other colors? Like the basic. We got the basics, right? We might mess around and get blind with it, 316 or something like that. Whatever. We might mess around and get that, but we got the basics of that. We got a bunch of wigs, got human hair. That's what you want, and that's what we can afford to get, whatever, right? It's like nah. even if it's cheaper, some stuff we sold cheaper. And so we even did stuff like people would come to the store and they'd be like, oh, I know the problem. And they're like, what's the problem? Oh, your marketing is off. I'm like, what do you mean? But you're not running the right type of ads. And I was like, what ads do the Arabs run? What ads do the Asians run? They just post up in our community and you go.
Exactly.
Like I've never seen them. This was before Uber wasn't a thing yet. We had a deal with the stylists and barbers. Whatever you need, you don't gotta leave your barbershop or salon. We will bring it to you. Wow. Whatever, you can just call or email whatever you need. We'll deliver it to you same day. They're like, yeah, but I'd rather just go. So for me, it was like, no, close shop. And at that time, the school was actually.
Because you got to fight a mindset.
Yeah, you got to fight the mindset. And for me, the school was also booming. So it was like, no, we know we can push the school. The school is going to be financially beneficial. This is a losing product. You know what I'm saying? And that was. So I still think entrepreneurship is the way, but there's the gap. Like I'm saying, got to be closed. Because in that case, if you ask me today, would you do it again? Like, hell no. Like, how stressful it was.
Exactly.
When you got 3 customers, you look at you go into the computer, look at the register, you're like, damn, I sold 2 nail clippers and some glue. You're like, damn. And you're looking at that bill, and they like, no, we need that $2,000 in rent.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the bank account, like $600 at the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Not gonna make
It's
it.
tough.
Yeah,
This ain't gonna cut it. So, but I'm a huge proponent for entrepreneurship. Clearly, that's why the podcast is there. Now there was a question I asked y'all didn't answer.
Yes, sir.
What's y'all money go?
I'm sorry.
What's y'all money go?
You're talking monthly, weekly?
Let's go with in a year. What is the goal, money-wise, that scares you, that you want your business to generate? Like, what's the number that, like, if I say this out loud, shit.
It's gonna sound impossible.
Yeah. What's that number for you? Because everybody has a number.
I would say $1 million.
$1 million?
That's what you're saying.
$1
I
million?
mean, but it's possible. It's completely possible. But I think it's just, like you said, it's the mind state, that we have to actually get it to that amount. Because any person who really puts in that time, consistency, product, and willing to go beyond to get their products to be at that price, can do it. It's just that you got to be willing to put in that effort. You know what I mean? Is giving up a lot of stuff that you enjoy to do to make sure it gets done.
So, do you all think right now your business has a product value worth $1 million a year?
In my mindset, yes. It may not show it right now, but I believe it is.
Okay.
I mean, because again, what I have on paper versus what I believe it can change up any way, shape, or form you want to change it to. Just because you don't have $1 million in your account today, don't mean you can't have $1 million tomorrow.
Okay.
So it just means that it really depends on your mind state about how you feel about it.
Okay, what about you?
I think that it does. There's a possibility, but I need to adjust my pricing because, especially in the beginning, I feel that I price based on what I thought people could afford versus the value of the actual product that I was having. So I do coaching here and there also, and my ticket price was extremely low. People got the results they needed, but ticket price was extremely low. So if I would, and all of those people after I talked to them was like, why did you charge us so little? If you would have charged us this, we would have still paid. So just me thinking about that is just me making sure that the value that I'm putting out there, people are actually paying for that value, and I'm not trying to give them discounts.
I started the same way. My first coaching price was $25, and then my client made like $500 on the spot, and I was like, what the going on? All right. Then I went to 50, and I was like, no, I'm worth more.
Yeah.
Then I was like 50 not enough. Then I did 100. Then I was like 250, and then I realized 250 an hour is not enough money, and I'm like, oh, this is.
I mean, it's like you said, it's the mind state.
It's definitely the mindset.
And then, people who want to invest in that stuff will find a way to invest in it. It's just getting past your mind state.
So let me ask this a couple last questions before we get out of here,
Uh-huh.
because I'm having fun now. That got me in my bag. I'm sorry, Lola. I jacked your whole segment.
No, go ahead.
She probably gonna jump me when it's over, y'all.
No.
All right. Business worth $1 million. So $1 million in a year, $1 million value. What's the thing that's blocking you from getting there right now? Like, what's stopping you from getting there? If it's worth that and you want that, then what's stopping you on the path from getting there?
For me, I have to go back to, I took a little break to work on rebranding and restructuring this year. So I have to get back to going consistently. So for me, it is my consistency, and then making sure that, because sometimes with still working and having my job, sometimes I give them too much of my time and give them too much of me that I could be devoting back to myself.
Absolutely.
And so right now I'm just working on figuring out a schedule to just give them 20 hours a week and then give the rest back to myself.
Gotcha.
Same, because like, I work about 40 hours a week, and I got other things that bills are piling up because, again, price of stuff is going up, and I have more responsibilities that have been, placed on me and Sammika. So it means, you're taking on more stuff. So it's just, getting more consistent with things, understanding that, you got to put out the product. You got to put out the product. You got to make sure you're marketing. You got to make sure you're connecting with people and making sure that you're talking to people who are trying to see you build and grow. And again, getting into those meetings or those luncheons or those dinners, whatever, to talk to people who are willing to either show you the way or help you along the way. I mean, because no person that I've ever met who was trying to do something great has ever been turned down by somebody who hasn't seen themselves in that person.
Absolutely.
Because if I see you and see you where I am now,
absolutely,
I understand what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go. And if you show me that you're willing to come every day, all day, every day, or you're willing to come whenever you get time to come do this thing, I know you're adamant about what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
And that goes a long way.
Absolutely. Couple last questions, and I got something for you too.
Yes.
Just an idea. But all right, so $1 million, right, in a year. Of course, now work and those things take. What part of your business right now is automated? How much of it is automated? That can be automated, because like you work with children directly, so there may be only certain parts that can be automated. But how much of your business, just estimate, is automated?
So I would say parts that probably be automated would be maybe 30-40%, because it's like I could do stuff, I could put out different social media posts, so and stuff like that, and that can be automated. It doesn't have to be like that, or emails and stuff like that. That can be automated. That's not really necessarily having to be actually see anything. And then of course stuff you have to do visually. Of course you got to take time to do it
Right.
from there. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm hearing answers. I in my mind, all this stuff is clicking, but I don't want to go take. We already been here a long time, so I ain't finna like super dig.
Yeah.
But I'm just listening to y'all answers, because like I'm gonna give y'all some free. But I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm gonna tell you this. This is pretty cool. Something that I don't know if you ever thought about. There is a huge market for nerds our age that are black. Because what space do we have to go to? Like, we started off having our December 18th conversation, and the rest of the room was like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Okay, something my coach Antonio said when he was out here, and something we got this thing called drift funnels, I'm going to give it to y'all, is you can't get rich without a community.
Yeah.
Right? You need a community. There has to be people around you that are going to support whatever is happening. And you have access right now, just from reading your bio, you have something that like I would pay money to be in that type of community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because like that's my tribe.
Yeah.
In a nerdy sense, that's my tribe of like I talk to DC and them about it, and they be like, man, listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if I can hear about be like, if I gotta hear about Doomsday one more time, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, gee, Dr. Doom is coming. You know what I'm saying?
Let's be honest. There was about 10 different little small teasers that they did that showed people coming back. Everybody went nuts.
Insane.
Especially because of the fact that it was certain characters that you were looking forward to see it. The X-Men characters in the MCU was one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that we knew that had not been
done yet. Yep.
And people want to see that. And seeing other people come back who've been gone for a long time, seeing them come back is really good.
I'm gonna tell you another reason I thought about this. I took my daughter to Comic-Con in Orlando, and I was like, yo, this is the nerdiest shit I've ever seen. Like, it's just grown men dressed up as Princess Peach. And now look, I'm there in my Louis Vuitton jumpsuit, and I'm thinking I'm fly, and they looking at me like, look at this nerdy. They like, yo, this dude don't even know how to dress. Like, I was the outcast in my Louis Vuitton joint, right?
Let me tell you.
So hold on. This is what I'm saying what I'm saying is, in that environment though, there was a few of us sprinkled in, but there wasn't a lot of us.
Yeah.
But if it would have been us, I would have felt more comfortable, because I like everything that was there I could relate to. Kratos, God of War, Mario Brothers, you know what I'm saying? Sonic. I could relate to everything. It's not us. So I wasn't comfortable. But I'm saying that you have something that put on a scale, like, yo, there's a huge market there.
Right now, actually, we just missed it, and I would love to have gone, and we're going to talk to you about this later on. It's DreamCon. Not sure if you're familiar with DreamCon. Not familiar with it? Black-owned comic book. I'm a Comic-Con. All black-owned in Houston, Texas. Just happened maybe less than a week or two. Maybe a week or two ago. Huge. A lot of people showed up. It was huge. I think this is like their 5th year or something like that. Huge turnout, all black characters, cosplay, anime, you name it, it was there. And people were enjoying it to the highest and the umpteenth degree.
Yeah.
Again, I go to C2E2, which is again a Chicago thing. It just happened in April. There's Fan Expo that's going to be in a couple of weeks going on in Rosemont. It's going to be huge because the fact that they got the original characters from the TMNT coming from the first movie's coming there. Got the original characters from the Goonies coming. The cast from Lord of the Rings is going to be there. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be a lot of people showing up, and it's going to be nuts. But, you know, like you said, there's a community out there for us that love this stuff, and we don't get enough talk about it. You know, I follow a lot of people who do the black cosplay or even talk about it, you know, and they have a huge following. And, you know, it's just so invigorating and cool just being able to hear people talk about stuff from their childhood that they enjoy with other people who enjoy it as well.
Because for me, man, I think that I would love to connect like the young people that's in the street.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's a great pathway that like you don't gotta be hard all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. It's so stressful when you gotta wear a mask.
Yeah.
And you gotta be something.
Yeah. Because
society says this would like all black men are tough. Like no, all black men not tough. You're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fighters are tough.
Yeah.
Everybody not a fighter.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like. I just think it's a dope pathway,
Yeah.
and I feel blessed to be able to have grown into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because my mama's goal for me as a child was to make it to 18.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy ass goal to have for your child. Like, I just want to see you make it to 18. Like, 18 is still a baby.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I'm still a teenager. If I die at 19, I still died a teenager.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And her only goal for me was like, listen, I just need my baby to make it to 18. If you make it to 18, I'll be good with God.
Yeah.
I'm like, now that I'm older and I listen to that, that's crazy as hell.
That's scary. Just
That's
thinking about
insane. Like if I ain't tell my daughter to make it to 18, no, daddy needs you here. I need you to go. I need you to bury me.
Exactly.
Right? Not the other way around.
Exactly.
But two, I need your greatness to make my greatness look like it's nothing.
Exactly.
I need you to dwarf everything that I did so that, you know what I'm saying? That's as a father pushing further. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
and that's the thing is that, you know, it's sad that was the day and age and the mindset we had for our parents growing up, and unfortunately it still rolls around on us today. And it's one of those things where we constantly got to keep working on it, keep finding ways to reach out to these kids, and that's why I say I love the idea, you know, because again I talk about comic stuff. If you see how much I geek out to stuff, you would think I'm like a 10-year-old girl in a grown man's body because of the fact that I enjoy it so much of the stuff. And I think what a lot of times comes down to is just talking to kids about the stuff, you know. And I was just thinking about this a lot of times because a lot of times there's a lot of like new anime out there I'm not familiar with. Like I'm familiar with the old anime. They got this new anime out there. They go extremely to like there is no guardrails when it comes to some of this anime. Like these kids were like anything you could think that they would do, they would do. And some of this stuff probably depressed some of us older people because we're like, man, I ain't never thought you going this far. Let me go sit in my corner somewhere and be my rocket ship.
I don't know if this was you hitting at, but when I took my daughter to Comic-Con, like they started passing out agendas at like 7 o'clock, and I was looking on there like XXX Sailor Moon. So like Comic-Con goes super freaky past like 8 o'clock, and if you're under 18, you got to get out you have to get off the premises. And I was like, oh wait a second, they was like, oh, it was like an OnlyFans. It was like OnlyFans cosplay, whatever. And I was like, OnlyFans? So because I'd never been before, like because to me, I'm not as deep as like cosplay, but I am like I like Marvel and I like the cartoons and all the different stuff, whatever. So, but like. I just think that it'd be a dope con. I just think it'd be dope to have, you know. In a dream con, I'm glad you put me on that.
And like I said, I've been following on Threads, at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. And I make sure I follow all this different stuff because I want to know about things that are going on that I can tell people about, you know, and eventually get people to go out to. The problem is sometimes it's getting hard for people to go out to certain stuff with you because some people may not. Like you said, be into
it's
it.
A stigma.
It's a stigma. They might not be into it.
If you ask me to go to Comic-Con right now, I got traumas.
Hey,
like what? Right. I seen a grown man dressed up as Princess Peach. I'm like, hold on.
Let me tell you, my last Comic-Con I went to, I dressed up. I went in Static Shock, and I met the original creator of the comic book. He was there, and I met the voice actor who's Phil Lamar, who did the voice for the cartoon, and I got to meet both of them at the same Comic-Con. I was so geeked out just to meet those two guys, and I got stuff signed by them, you know, and it just felt so good being around guys who were trying to put out such a positive message about being a black comic book character and that they're trying to do something positive with what they have. And again, we have, a lot of comic book characters that are out there. Again, we have a lot of big names, we have a lot of small names. I like going to this place called, this one black-owned comic book called Blurred Underground. It's in LaGrange, Illinois. I go to them. I don't go to his office. I would like to, but they have a black-owned comic book stop, and they're black-owned, and then they go out there, they geek out. They do the free comic book days and stuff like that. And shout out to Blurred Underground again, out in LaGrange, Illinois. And it's just one of those places where you can go and geek out. You can talk to them about nerd stuff, about comic books, and the main owner. He's a principal. One of the other guys I think is a teacher. So again, these are principals and teachers, but they still nerd out the stuff that they enjoy. So again, it's not that you have to not be able to enjoy these things. You just got to find the right community to have when you go to these things.
I didn't realize I kept y'all for so long.
I'm sorry.
I think he still went over the question, what you were trying to get him.
Which question was that?
So you were trying to recommend something, but I don't think he was catching on to it.
Recommend doing like actual some blurred, underblurred, or black.
No, I was just saying that it takes in order to get rich, you need a community.
Yeah.
And I saw both bios, but when I asked the $10 million question, the $10 million question is asked earlier in the podcast because whatever answer you give. All right, let me back up. Black people do marketing wrong, right? When you do marketing, you talk to one person.
Yeah.
Only that one person, all the time, every time, all day long. And a lot of times we want to market to everybody. But it's almost like if you market to me and you give me Jay-Z lyrics, I can understand that. But if you market to me and you give me NBA YoungBoy lyrics, I can't tell you a single NBA YoungBoy song. You're gonna miss me, right?
Yeah.
So the way you market to me and a 20-year-old black male completely different. So I will ask you the $10 million question because typically whatever you lead with, that's your strongest thing that you should be leading with, right? Then you may have a passion project, which it sounds like the other one is a passion project, which can still be done. But the $10 million thing is what you lead with because that's where your money's gonna come from.
Yeah.
The money can fund the other thing when you get there. But I was taught that build your business to 7 figures. Once you hit 7 figures is now scale, and now you can build something else. But 7 figures should always be the goal for where you're trying to take take your business to.
Yeah.
But with the community, there's a real
need for
like
that.
if you built out a community, even if it's a passion project, building out a community there because it could be as simple as online something, right?
Yeah,
Membership fee. Join, send out a weekly newsletter. AI can make it. It's all automated. And then people are coming having conversations, whether you're there and almost like a Discord, people are having conversations and carrying on. And you know what I'm saying? But that, I don't realize how much money is in that.
Yeah, it is. It's
how much money is in that.
And that's why I said I think I'm going to actually go more into my Incredible Conundrum because I know I have a market for that on Facebook. Facebook is like a big market because you don't really see Facebook Live really often anymore. Like they did Facebook Live, but people don't do it anymore. Now it's all on, you see it more on TikTok or you see it on YouTube.
Instagram too.
And it's like people forget there's a market on Facebook that you can take advantage of if you can tap into it and get people that want to watch your stuff on there. If you can I'm sorry about the tapping thing. Positive. Sorry about the tapping thing. I got into my mode. Hey, when I get into my mode, my thinking mode.
Y'all geeking out over there.
Hey, when
This part of the show was sponsored by.
Hey, when it started, it's hard to turn it off, because it's just something I'm really, as you can see, you see it all in my face turning red, and black people can blood, just so you know, in case anybody.
Hey, I got sunburned in Mexico, so I
actually had a friend who actually asked me if black people can get sunburned. I said, yes, we can get sunburned.
Yeah.
It's harder, but it can't happen.
Sunburned in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I almost got sunburned. I felt it, but I learned from Mexico. Yeah.
Like, it's possible. It's harder, but it can't happen.
See, when I saw my skin peeling, I was like, what the?
I didn't think that could happen to me.
Yeah, it's like this what white folks be going through all this time.
Yeah.
But then I felt comforted in my melanin, like, all right, skin cancer be gone. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Just roll off.
I felt comforted. All right, so look, we're gonna end it up, but I want to get from y'all before we go. We have a segment we call Hot Sauce.
Okay.
And the Hot Sauce segment is y'all giving sauce, y'all giving game to entrepreneurs based on where you're at. Something from your business that you can share that's going to add value to whoever our audience is watching. So you can take your time, develop your point as much as you need to. It's on you. Each one of y'all, I would like something before we get out of here.
You can go.
Oh, sorry, but let me first. So, to entrepreneurs out there everywhere, just understanding that you have the power to shape how your business goes. whether it goes positive, whether it goes negative. I always tell people, focus on the positive as much as you can, because negative stuff is small setbacks. But as long as you are focused in on your positive stuff, that's all you're going to start seeing, because the negative stuff is going to fall away. Because you know what you're putting out there is a good product. You know what you're going to be doing is going to become bigger, stronger, and better for those out there that see it. And just because you're small now doesn't mean you're going to stay that way. We all assume that just because we're small, that we won't grow, that we won't be where we want to be at. It's an uphill battle. Enjoy that battle, because people appreciate those uphill battles to get where they need to be at. You cannot tell me most NBA players, any sports player, had to start at the bottom. Had to start somewhere. They didn't start at the top. You can be a prodigy, but you still got stuff to learn.
Right.
So keep at your craft. Keep learning what you need to learn. Keep networking. Keep making sure that people understand that you are about your business. Don't hide your business. The biggest thing I always see a lot of times, people hide their businesses, hide their ideas. My wife told me one time that one of the most funniest things I ever heard. You know where the best ideas lie? In the graveyard. Because people are afraid to put their ideas out there. They forget to give themselves a chance to make themselves great. You are great. You have greatness in you. We're all melanated. We come from greatness. We survived over 200 years of slavery. We talked about that earlier. We survived everything that's been put in front of us, and we become better people because of it. So there's nothing that you can't do. Be strong in what you're trying to do. Be brave in what you're trying to do, and keep on progressing.
Absolutely. I like that. All right. If we gonna get the tea clockers. Are we clocking tea?
No, I ain't talking to you today. Gotta get my nails done. Okay.
Oh, okay. If the nails wasn't broke, tea would be clocked today.
Okay.
It don't sound right without my nails.
Okay. My bad. I violated. My bad.
Put it on spot.
Okay. All right. You're right.
Well, I would say it's the biggest investment you can make is back in yourself. Always remembering that if you want someone to value your service, you have to also value that service. You have to know the worth of your service and know how you're going to transform. If you're doing a coaching business, how you're going to transform someone else's life. And then also remembering whatever you're creating, think about the impact that it's going to also create. I always think about, and I've talked to other people about this, everything that I do is going to outlive me. So if I leave this earth today, my books will still be there. The people that I've been able to touch, whether it was children, adults, they will still be there, and I will indirectly have effect on the people that they interact with. And so thinking about the value that you create, and then also something that I had to learn, you do not have to go out and give everything for free. I think too many of us, we give so many people things for free, but then when they go to other places, they pay for those things. So making sure that people pay you for your value and pay you for your worth.
I love it. Lola, can we get some about you today?
Following up behind that, I just say bet on yourself, because they already done,
Don't
they
bet on
all the
yourself.
shoes, I don't even know what to say. Y'all got me like, you right. Yep.
Bet on yourself. I'm going to say this to close us out, too, is that I put this post on Facebook like every 3 months, but it's the realest post to me. It just makes so much sense when it comes to like black people. Is the saddest thing I've ever seen is going down to the pond and seeing a bunch of horses who died from dehydration. And it's like, we can lead you to the water, but
We can't make you drink.
can't make you drink it. And for a lot of us, unfortunately, that's where we at in society today. Because like you said earlier, we got access to the information. It's just the application the execution is separate from just getting information. So that's all I got. DC, you got anything for us, man, before we get out of here?
You know what I'm about to say.
Hey, man, listen, we done held y'all for almost 3 hours. I think this might be our longest podcast episode ever. I looked at my clock like, oh my God, this was 3 hours. That's what Marvel will do to you, huh?
I told you, man, we had a whole another segment. I said I would have you for another 2 hours if we were just gonna be talking my incredible Connonedrum thing. I brought a whole another set of clothes for that whole other segment.
Oh, he said change it up. He ready to go round two.
I got round 2. I got to get out the hot clothes. 'Cause I'm in the hot clothes right now. I got not be sweating, man. This degree only gonna last for so long.
They say you got 72.
Exactly. Hey, I don't know if I want to hold them to that 72. I raised my arm.